out of apartment 5B.
You're now tuned into the Apartment 5B podcast, where we chop it up about hip-hop, R&B, sports, love and life. Hosted by Kill.
Yourself and your soul together. This man will make your liver quiver.
What up?
What up, though?
What up, though?
This is a different way to start Apartment 5B tonight. What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? This is another episode of Apartment 5B. I got my squad with me in effect today. I don't know what's going on. Everybody had their camera off on strike. Came out with others.
So we wanted to say happy 10th anniversary. You know, this is your 10 years for your podcast, and you work extremely hard. All the late nights, all the energy you put in, all the thought you put in, and your squad is with you all the time. Big up to the squad. They always got your back. So, you know, just showing you some love because you are so dedicated and you do a lot for a lot of people. And, you know, part of this hip hop community, love you. Everybody loves you. Everybody, you know, just you pour into so many people, and the conversations are dope. So we wanted to say happy anniversary.
Everyone has their favorite.
And everybody has their favorite saying.
JR, why are you looking at me in that tone? Oh, well, thank you all.
You're welcome.
Thank you,
Can they see there's the award?
Come
on. Word up.
Thank you.
Love you.
Good money, man. Good money.
Thank you, Craig. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye, team. Bye, love you.
Naomi. Here you go, baby. Well, I had no idea. That's when I came home from a funeral to congrats. So thank you all. Thank you all. 10 years. I had no idea.
10 years.
I had no idea.
Well, like, okay. He's like, y'all got your cameras on?
Right, I'm like, the fuck? All y'all on strike at the same time? Like, nigga, what the damn actors guild, y'all? The writers on strike, the actors on strike, everybody on strike tonight.
UPS is next.
Right, you know what I mean? Right, well, what's good? You are tuning into another episode of Apartment 5B podcast. I got my squad with me in effect as always. Let's start with my little sister Porsche. How did y'all? How? I don't even know how y'all put this shit together.
So I think JR and T. Actually, I'll let JR start because I think JR was the first person to be approached. So JR, take it away, and I'll enter when I enter. So.
All right, cool. So T hit me about 2 weeks ago and was like, yo, it's your 10-year anniversary or whatever. And she was like, yo, I want to get shirts for everybody that, you know, when Kill says his favorite quotes or whatever lines to each other. So I was like, cool, I think that'd be dope. So she wanted everybody's number, and then she got our size and all that good stuff. And then I actually came and got mine on Sunday while y'all was in Baltimore.
Wow.
You didn't know because you was in the house, and your niece had to come out and give me the shirt because you was inside because you wouldn't leave.
That's crazy.
For that, so we wanted to do that for you, yo. You deserve this, yo. Like, you created a family, yo, for real. You deserve this, for real. Wow. You might get on my nerves, and I might give you a Tony face, but at the end of the day, you do deserve this. You created this family, and look, man, all the love you got, man. You crazy. So, yeah, we had to do this. This is dope. So.
Well, thank y'all, because I was like, fuck, just ain't nobody gonna be on screen with me tonight. So it's gonna be it's gonna be me and Zone Vegas. Like, okay. Burn the low closer. What's going on, good brother? Everything good?
Man, I'm happy to be here, man. Congratulations on 10 years, man. Congratulations on making people on the internet think we went to high school together. but we all just met on Twitter. And on the screen, I've met you, met P, met JR, met Zoe. So that's what's up.
All right,
Matter of
P,
fact,
my little.
Matter of fact, that's me, Zoe, and my wife when he was at Moves.
Oh, wow. At Moves,
Yeah.
yep. I remember that.
Yeah.
That's dope. Porsche, the dopest co-host on the planet Earth. What's good with you?
You know, like Vern said, it's so good to be here. Congratulations, Kill, starting the writer's bench and then Apartment 5B. And I'm the guest that never went away. You invited me one time and I just clicking that link every week. Every week, Kill was like, if you're available next Thursday, I'm like, I'll be there. And I mean, we've heard it 1,000 times. This was not your plan. You wanted to have a rotating panel, but we just never left the apartment. So yeah, super, super dope to be here. And I just absolutely love the Apartment 5B family and all of our, affiliates and neighbors and all of that. So thank you.
Eddie, what's good, bro?
Yo, man, very, very happy to be here, man. And, just to think, I started off as just a fan of the podcast. Like, I was tuning in every week. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just like everyone else, you know what I mean? Like, this is the podcast, the Apartment 5B, you know what I mean? Like, this is dope, or what the topic is going to be, what's the discussion on Twitter about it. And then I wound up, got the invite, and here we go, you know what I'm saying?
All right. My brother Vague from Brooklyn. I didn't know about this. I would have put your name in it, bro. I didn't even know this was going on, so I apologize, good brother. But what's going on with you in Brooklyn, man?
Where's T? I ain't getting no shirt.
I apologize, bro.
I done been here. I done been on the writer's bench, the corner radio.
That's why
And you in the middle. You in the middle.
Vague is the oldest. Y'all knew each other before all of us.
Exactly. That's why I said I had no idea this was going on. That's why I'm like, it's gonna be a whack ass show tonight. Don't nobody camera work.
Right. Nah, but congratulations on 10 years, man. Of doing this thing, you know what I'm saying? Building a community, not only here on YouTube, but also on Twitter. And it's dope, man, because this is the thing. We'd be in your office and we would do this very thing all the time, man, with no cameras. So it's dope to see other people get to enjoy our nonsense. And guess what? We act exactly the same way we did back then. So
true indeed. And nigga, I gotta salute you because you gotta be coming up on 10 years too, because we got started around the same time.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Man, I done lost track, but I don't know.
All right, JR, what's going on, good brother?
Ain't nothing, but I already did my, congrats to you, but I'm happy to be here with everybody and I'm ready to get it in. Especially that you got that one at the bottom.
That's a surprise, man. We got Joe on the show, man. We moving up in the
middle.
Exactly. Like this is the show.
For real.
Y'all just had Chuck D, man. I ain't nobody, bro.
man. My brother Rel, Philadelphia Steak Life. What's going on, bro?
It's good, man. Happy to be here. Congrats, like everybody else said. I got on by watching it, during the pandemic, and I hit you up, and you invited me on, and here I am. I've been here ever since, So yeah, everything everybody said was true, You deserve it, deserve the recognition, the love. Oftentimes we show love to people that we don't even know, that we just fans of. It's good to show love to the people that you can actually pick up the phone and talk to, And it's funny, I got my shirt. Your wife and they came to the crib and dropped it off.
What?
Yeah. The other day, yeah. So I got to meet them.
Crazy, man.
You got to be sneaky with you, for real.
Yo, the crazy thing is, I'm literally coming home from a funeral. I had to help bury one of my team's fathers who just passed, and they's like, "Yo, something wrong with the studio?" And I'm like, "Yo, what you mean there's something wrong with the studio?" And I come upstairs and all this stuff is here. So I truly and humbly appreciate all y'all. I appreciate y'all taking time out of y'all schedule every week to be here. The pay is horrible. You know what I mean? So the pay sucks. But unfortunately, every other month to remind me that the pay sucks. But You know, I appreciate y'all from the bottom of my heart. Humbly, we have our special guest with us, Zoe. Yo, bro. I gotta put this plug to JR. We were at the Trey Lee party and we saw each other and we dapped it up. He said, "Yo, you know my brother JR," and I'm like, "Oh man, gotta get you on the show." And boom, he's here. You know what I mean? So JR, that is definitely the alley oop. So I appreciate the alley oop. Zoe, what is good brother?
Man, everything is good, man. I been running around all day. Got a nice little walk in before I had my day planned. I was gonna get a walk in, get something to eat, but my daughter clogged up a couple of my drains, so I had to clear drains out. I ain't get no chance to eat. You know how that goes. So
I know how it goes, good brother.
I'm sitting here with my folks on an empty stomach, and we gonna get this thing in.
All right, bro. I appreciate. Yo, if you need to dip for a minute and get something to eat, I never want to hold nobody on no empty stomach, though.
Nah, man. I got some water here, and I'm gonna thug it out for a couple hours.
All right, no doubt. Y'all know me. Let's jump right into it. This week, this thought is coming from an episode that Vague and JR and I did, and we were talking about October London's tribute to Marvin album, and we were talking about, is that okay? Like, you know, this dude, I was listening to it, JR, and I'm like, yo, if I didn't know that this wasn't Marvin and somebody just said this is like a lost Marvin track, I would have believed it. Tributes albums, everything like that. And Vague was saying, well, you know, in hip hop, we don't do tribute albums. You know, that's whack. We don't do that. You know, that's not part of the culture. So I'm talking to Nay, and we're talking about, God, I love my daughter. I mean, we could just sit on the couch and just dive down the rabbit hole of music. And we got to Slum Village's Selfish. She loves that song. She actually loves the Aretha Franklin Call Me sample that Kanye used. And she was asking about Slum Village. And I was like, Elzai's one of the illest. He did his joint Elmatic. We doing Illmatic. And she was like, but Daddy, I thought you said hip-hop remix was whack. And I was like, oh, they are. You don't do them right. So she was like, so they're not whack. You just have to do them right. And I was like, I guess so. I don't know. So that's what we're talking about tonight. Hip-hop remix. We're at 50 years of hip-hop. Is this okay now? Is it okay to do a tribute album? Is a tribute album me doing the exact same lyrics or the exact same beats? Can we freak it? So it's all about that. We're also looking at 5 albums and who would we get to remake them and how would we get them remade? Let's start with this. Porsche, ladies first, and then we'll go to Zoe since this is the first time chopping up with us. How do you feel about hip-hop remix?
I don't know, and the reason I don't know is because it teeters on like biting, and then it teeters on, I don't know, it's just, there's a gray area in hip hop. So I personally like when, and I've said this before on the show when it's come up, is I like when there's like covers made. So for example, Snoop did Lottie Dottie. I love that song. I love all versions of that song, but well, both. And I don't think that that's corny. I don't think it's biting. I think that's on it. And to me, I really appreciated that. I kind of side-eye Elzai for doing an album called Elmatic, even though it's nothing like Illmatic, but I'm still like really like, I don't know. So I'm kind of on the fence about it. I don't really have a concrete opinion about it.
All right, maybe here's a better question. Word gets the air that Elzai is redoing Elmatic. What are your first reactions? Positive or negative?
Negative.
Okay.
Somebody's entire album, I feel like that's weird. You know, like why?
Right. Now, you hear it. What did you think about it?
It's dope.
Okay. All right. So it started off as apprehension, but then you like it. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Bet. So, what about you, good brother? You hear not Elzai is remaking Illmatic, calling it Elmatic. What do you like first reaction? Hear that?
Well, I'm thinking, the first thing I'm thinking is I'm gonna give it a listen because it's Elzai. That's my dude from the crib. I'm gonna give it an honest listen. Also, I'm looking at it from just a cover standpoint. We all know, you know, hip hop and covers is pretty much like oil and water. So me coming from like the R&B soul side, And I've done cover albums. I haven't done like albums where I've covered other albums, but I've done albums where I've done cover songs.
Hey,
And
so you gonna do another?
You gonna do another one?
so, the way that I look at a cover, that's funny. The way that I look at a cover is you want to take the original song and you want to either update it, you want to make it better, put your own spin on it. And like when I would approach a cover, like it would be something even outside of my own genre, like soft rock, or if we're doing like Steely Dan, or if we're doing Let It Go or something like that, to where it's like it's not like the cookie cutter, we're gonna go do Yearning for Your Love, which is something that everybody would expect us to do. So you would kind of pick and choose things out of left field, and then you would kind of put your own little sheen on it, your own little touch on it, maybe even flip it at the end. For example, what L did on the Life's a Bitch cover,
Right.
where he brought in Royce, and then at the end of it he brought in Stokely to re-sing the original, the actual Yearning for Your Love.
Right.
That's something I can get with. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
or what Porsche said with Lottie Dottie, where Snoop took Lottie Dottie, he didn't have somebody else beatboxing on it. He just rapped the shit over a Dre beat, and the shit was dope. Same thing with like with Black Star, what they did with Children's Story.
Right.
Like they didn't have the same beat. It wasn't the same. It wasn't even the same vibe. Like it was totally different. I think Sean J did that joint, right? Sean J Period did that joint, and like it was totally different. The shit was dope. They kept it playful. They kept the little childish ad libs in there, all of that. And like Lottie Dottie, Children's Stories are actually like my favorite hip hop covers, if there is a thing.
Okay.
So like, but on the flip, like if we go to the In the Beginning There Was Rap album, I was kind of hands off with that one. I kind of saw what it was meant to do, which I kind of figured it was kind of meant to bridge the gap between the culture in '97 and the culture in the '80s or the early '80s or whatever. But I was kind of hands off with it because I was just like, it doesn't do anything for me.
Right.
But with L's Eye, I'm gonna give it a listen because that's hometown. That's my dude. So I'm gonna at least check it out. And that's Will Sessions too. Will Sessions is on that, and he's dope. So.
And I'm just like that. I heard Elmatic and I was like, this shit's gonna be whack. Why are you redoing Elmatic? This is whack. This is a horrible idea. Then I heard it and I loved it. You know what I mean?
It's tough to cover a full album.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
right.
that's a high hurdle, man. Like I would only do like one song from I Want You. I wouldn't try to do the full album. Like that's a tall order, man.
Right. So again, for me, I heard it, I loved it, but I think it was the spinoff of, and Vega and I talked about this, I felt like Will Sessions brought so much to that album. You know what I mean? I feel like if he just rhymed over the instrumentals, even, maybe even like you said, somehow flip it, and we'll get into that, because a lot of the 5 albums that I picked to get redone, there's some type of flip to it. So it's not like, you're just rhyming over it. But I think Will Sessions brought so much to that album, to the fact that I have the instrumental album of Elmatic, and I probably listen to that more than I listen to the joint, because the music is just so crazy. Vern, same question. You hear about Elmatic, what do you think versus what you thought after you heard it?
So I had an evolution just sitting here today. So, but to answer your question, initially I thought, that's probably going to be not that dope. But as many have said, Elzai is one of the dopest. So I opened my mind, and I like what he did with it. And so you probably haven't asked this question yet, but I'm gonna just jump in. I'm Jodeci on these type of things. I don't follow no rules. I ain't boys and men. But I think hip hop as a whole pigeonholes itself and acts like it's not music. It's like some Jedi Knight rules of order that you got to follow, and what that does is eliminate a lot of things that it could be. So, we got to expand and open our mind. Because, I mean, for real, starting tonight, I was like, no, I'm vehemently against hip hop remakes. And I started thinking, man, I just started rattling off one. So, we got to expand the horizons of hip hop if we want the thing to keep going.
Right. All right, no doubt. Veg, I know we've spoken about this before the show. What were your thoughts of Illmatic when you heard about it versus after you heard it?
When I heard about it, I really wasn't for it because I kind of.
And again, for everybody who may not know, this is Vegas. His cousin is Ill Will. He from Brooklyn but grew up in Queens. So Illmatic is a very, tightly knit close album to him. So this is why I'm like really interested on your perspective because again, you knew Nasir before he was Nas. So for you, what was that when you first heard that?
Well, like I kind of approached it like a hip hop head. Like I just didn't think it was something that you do over. You know what I'm saying? Or cover or whatever. So I was skeptical, and Elzhi is nice, but I just didn't like the idea of it because I kind of felt like Elzhi is nice enough to make his own Illmatic, so to speak. But then I decided to give it a try, and I'm just glad I did because it is more than you expect. To me, it's the bar for hip hop covers because not only do you have Will Sessions and the live instrumentation, and like I love how Life's a Bitch is extended into Journey for Your Love and the Stokely come in. Like I love the way that was produced, and Elzhi does an excellent job with the lyrics. Because at no point did I think he would, I'm gonna take the Detroit approach and find the similarities because they are, right? When you're talking about the ghetto, doesn't matter if you're on the East Coast or West Coast, take those similarities and those vibes that Nas articulated on Illmatic back then and talk about Detroit and me and where I'm from. So I just thought that if there's going to be hip hop covers, this is how you do it. And maybe not exactly like this, but you have to be creative. Everybody involved with this was creative about covering this classic album. And yeah, man, it changed my mind real quick as soon as I heard it.
Right. JR, what about you, good brother?
Being an R&B head, I don't see the problem with it, to be honest with you. We do a lot of covers as it is, so I don't really see a problem with it. And like Vern said, it's with hip hop it's so competitive, so sometimes it's like, nah, you can't do that because you fighting and all this kind of stuff. But if you can do the remake in your own way, what's the problem with it? You know what I mean? So like Portia said with Lottie Dottie with Snoop, he got on the Dre beat and did the exact same words, and to be honest, I didn't think about Slick Rick's version at all. You know what I mean? Like he killed it like that. So I'm like, I don't see the problem with it, to be honest. So that's why I got to stand with it.
Eddie, same thing, pre and post here on Illmatic. Oh, you muted, bro.
My bad. To me, I was interested because I was a fan of Elzhi before that. At the same time, I was kind of skeptical because I think not just remaking an album, but remaking Illmatic, which is like the holy grail. You guys see the memes on Twitter, you know what I'm saying? Like Moses with copy Illmatic, you know what I mean? All right. So that's really difficult to live up to, and you're gonna get all the criticism from it. But what he did with Will Sessions, he did it the right way, like the creativity. And all of y'all already said it, so I won't beat a dead horse. But the other thing I did like that he did was he rhymed over the Genesis, which is a track where you're like, damn, why did Nas put that beat? And Elzhi just ripped that shit. So I love that he did that.
All right, bro. What about you?
Beforehand, like I was not feeling it at all. Like yo, why are you doing that? You know what I'm saying? And it actually prevented me from listening to it for a long time. You know what I mean? 'Cause I'm like, why? Like, why you want to redo the whole? Like, you nice enough to do your own. You know what I mean? And then me being such a big Nas fan,
I was just about to say, bro, give me 2 minutes. Nas, LL, and Q. This nigga will throw blows.
Listen.
He will throw blows.
I ain't mad though. I ain't mad. That's a tough three.
With those three right there, when you want to come on his timeline, this shit I was seeing about LL, I didn't even want to tag Rel. Like, nigga, we can't get your account suspended right now. So we gonna just hold that back.
He's like Marlo.
Right. He like Marlo. We ain't gonna tell you what Omar been talking. We gonna wait till we locked up for you to find out niggas been talking shit about L in these streets. So yeah, we just me and Vern like Chris. We like, yo, we don't know what the fuck going on, man. Marlo ain't said nothing about you, man. I mean, Omar ain't said nothing about you, Marlo. But I'm sorry. So just for people watching, he loves Nas. So
yeah. So of course I was like, nah, I wasn't even listening to it. But once I finally heard it, like, I was impressed, man. He did a really good job with it. You know what I mean? Added his own flair to it. You know what I mean? The lyrics were good. Like, he just did a good job. Like, I wonder, like, what was his like thought process with it, because I mean, that's like Eddie said, like, it ain't even that you just redid an album, but you redid that album. It's like so polarizing. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, what was your thought process going into that? But I think he approached it the correct way, because, you know, some people may say biting, but he added enough of his own flair to it. You know what I'm saying? Put his own imprint on it, that I think that's like the best way you can go about doing a hip hop remake of an album. Now, a song is different, but a full album, that's a different thing. I think he did a good job, and you know, it took a while for me to even give it a chance. That's how much I wasn't feeling it before I heard it. You know what I mean?
It's funny that you say that. I know a lot of people who didn't hear it for years. You know what I mean? Bezo from the Writers Bench hadn't heard it for years, and I mean, it took me countless times to even get him to listen, because he was just like, nah. You know, then he listened and he loved it. So the reason why I want to start with Elzai is because I just like Burn. We've done a remake show before, and it was kind of like, we shot it down. You can't do it. It's against the laws of hip hop. It's against the laws of nature. But as always, out the mouth of babes, Naomi asked me about it. I think from everybody on this panel, we're good with Elzai. We're good with Elman. So at the end of the day, it's like Naomi says, not necessarily that you can't do it. It's just you have to do it right. And I think it was Vegas who said, this is kind of like the bar on how to do it right. Because here's a question real quick, and just around the room you could say, did y'all know Fashawn did a remake of Illmatic too? Yeah, Fashawn has a remake of Illmatic. You know what I mean?
Kill, I'm good, man.
I mean, I'm just saying, we don't, but again, just like Rel, we don't know. I got to send it to everybody, y'all. We don't know.
No, you don't have to.
I don't have to. Okay. No. Mercy, you may have said the same thing about Elmatic. You may have said you don't have to say that.
Like I said, Elzai is
I get it. Fashawn is nice too. But I get you. So here's the thing. Let's talk about, if we had to have 5 albums remade, who we want remaking them, and who would we want doing? Now, I'll give you a great example of what Rel was just saying. Somebody coming out with an album and me not giving it a fair chance because I was like, you can't make hip hop joints. Did y'all know Skyzoo did a remake of Reasonable Doubt?
No, but that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Skyzoo did a remake of Reasonable Doubt, and it's called Ode to Reasonable Doubt. It's on Bandcamp. You can Google it. It's on YouTube. Very, very, very dope album. But when I heard it at first, I was just like, bro, I don't even want to hear it. This is whack. Why are you making remakes? Go make your own shit. But it's very much done in an Elmatic way. He gets where Ant-Man wanted out of Philly, so it's a lot of live instrumentation. And he has songs like The Hustle Never Sleeps, but it's like the Can't Knock the Hustle. Mm-hmm. And The Usual Politics instead of Politics as Usual. Meeting the Presidents versus Dead Presidents. The Feeling versus Feeling It.
And when he does that means that he's coming at it respectfully.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? To where he's like he's he's taking that first step toward, you know, homage, but also, you know, I'm gonna add my own shit to it.
Right.
And that's the thing I would say why Sky Zoo and Elzai could do these covers, because they put a lot of thought into what they write with their pen. Like both of them. Like even what Sky Zoo just did with the Snowfall project, right?
Right.
What he did with he had a whole EP dedicated to that. You know, he had the Blue Note kind of jazz theme. You know, he takes these concepts and puts a lot of thought into it. Same with Elzai.
Right. So again, everybody who's watching on the panel, check it out. It's a dope album. But again, when I first saw it, I didn't want to hear it. I listened to it. I wasn't feeling it. I went back to hear it to get ready to listen to this show, and it's really a dope album. It's really dope. He did a great job of redoing it, but just at that time I couldn't hear it. And he has an incredible song called Friend or Foe Part 3, where he comes at it from the child of the Jamaican drug dealer that Jay killed on Friend or Foe 2. He's coming back as that child trying to get revenge against Jay-Z for killing his father. You know, so again, I think Elzai and Sky Zoo, these are two of the perfect ways to do it. They're not, even when they're taking the beat, they're trying to do it differently. They're not just saying the same lyrics. Of course, just like with Elzai, you know, they may use an opening bar here and there, you know, just to keep you in the groove. But out of that 16, 14 of them bars are their own. You know what I mean? So I think that this is the way to do it. Porsche, why don't you set us off, Miss? What are one of the albums you would want remade, and who would you want remade?
Okay, I feel like this one's a little bit of an obvious kind of, maybe it's safe, but I'm going with Great Adventures of Slick Rick, and I would want Nas to redo it. And obviously we know the influence of Slick Rick on Nas and all of that. So I feel like it would be just a very smooth sort of justice to that album. I love The Adventures of Slick Rick, so that's like in the Illmatic category, right? Like you don't really take classic albums like that and just, you know, remake them. But I think that Nas is the MC that can and would do it justice because of his storytelling. I think that he would have a different cadence and it would add. It would be very, I think, enjoyable. That's what I think. Yeah.
All right. No doubt. Zoe, what you got up first, good brother?
I had a safe one too. I had a safe one myself, and that was Black Thought redoing It's a Big Daddy Thing. Which I mean, we all know that, you know, the Cool G rap and the Big Daddy Kane influence on him, and I think that he would body that joint.
All right, when he did the Set It Off at the Hip Hop Honors.
Yes.
Yeah. Now here's the thing, y'all. I don't know if I put this in the notes, so I'm gonna come back around. Think about it. Who would you want producing it? Because I think a huge piece of what we talked about with Illmatic was Will Sessions. You know, do you want a live band? Who do you want to kind of freak the music? I'll go with my first one. I want Only Built for Cuban Links redone by Pusha T and Malice. You know what I mean? To me, it's the Coke link up. It's everything like that. Malice really don't rhyme, so he plays the Ghostface lane good enough, so it's not 50-50, but it's there. And now here's the thing, and Porsche, this will talk to you. I want RZA to produce this, but I only want discs from 1994 and 1995 from the ASR 10 that did not get ruined by the flood. Now, what that looks like, I have no idea, because the flood ruined everything. But that is the way that I would want this production done. I wouldn't necessarily want them rhyming over the same exact beats, but I would want some RZA feel, maybe even the beats that Ray didn't pick, or if he wants to try to remix them or something like that. But I definitely want RZA involved with that project, and I think Pusha and Malice could definitely do that justice. Porsche, who do you think you would want to do the beats? Would you want him just over the same beats? Would you want a Hit Boy to kind of flip the beats?
I'm kind of torn. I would, when I was initially choosing this, I wanted it to be same beat, same everything, just Nas, you know, redoing the entire album. If I can choose a producer, I would love to see Primo.
Okay.
Right. I know it's like 2023. I can't say that.
You say whatever you want.
I'd want DJ Premier on it. I love Primo, and I would never, if I was an artist, I would never use Primo for just his scratches. Let me say that. So
right.
yeah.
All right. So, what about you? Who would you want on the boards for that?
The Roots.
Okay.
If you see what the Roots did with the George Krantz joint, that the Dada joint that they remade on Phrenology, and how they took that and updated it and freaked it, even slowed it down a little bit more so it grooves a little bit harder. Like I can see that, that same type of energy for like a Smooth Operator or Big Daddy Thing, the title track or even a bonus track, or bringing Set It Off on from the older album,
right?
Onto that joint,
Right, that'd be dope.
I think they would do it. I think they would do it justice.
That would be dope. Let me make one more little thing. I will say this: with doing a hip hop remake, I do want your own lyrics. That is one thing I do. I do not want you just literally saying the exact same 16. If you want to take the intro and the outro bar, that's cool, but the bulk gotta be yours. That to me is still against the rule. Like just taking a whole song and just rapping what somebody else wrote. That's not good for me. I at least want to hear you. So again, Sky Zoo and I think Elzai did a wonderful job of that. Vern, what about you? Who you got up first, brother?
All right, these two guys I'm about to name are really not popular on Twitter, but we ain't on Twitter, so I don't care what y'all say. I'm gonna have Killer Mike redoing Death Certificate. And I was trying to think, all right, who was gonna be on the board? Because I knew you was gonna ask that, because I know you kill. So I'm gonna go with the people who did Killer Mike's last album, because it's crazy though.
Yeah.
DJ Paul, No ID, I forgot the other. But yeah, so I'm going with Killer Mike doing Death Certificate.
Yo, I'm not mad at that at all, good brother. And again, that Killer Mike album, man, I haven't stopped listening to it, and I love stuff like that because like I said, I've never been a Killer Mike fan. And again, for people watching, that doesn't mean I don't like you just because I'm not a fan of your work. It just means I'm not checking for you. But this Killer Mike, I haven't stopped listening to it since it dropped. It's an amazing album. I literally was just watching an interview with him and Ebro before I came up to do the show. Like, I'm loving this album. So I love that Death Certificate too. I gotta ask, Vegas and Rel are probably the two biggest Q fans I know. Are y'all? How does that touch y'all?
The two Death Certificate.
Yeah,
I love
Killer
that.
Mike redoing.
Killer Mike is perfect for that. Like just lyrically, consciously, he's perfect for that.
Yeah.
So I think that's dope.
I can sleep good at night because Vegas co-signed for me.
You ain't got to worry about Vegas and Rel pulling up to the crib. You ain't got to worry about it. Rel, you okay with that? You muted, Rel.
Yeah, I think it fits the right amount of consciousness with street and aggressiveness. I think it fits. I wouldn't have never thought of that. That was a good pull.
That was dope. That's a good pull, bro. Veg, who you got up?
All right. I had a Cuban Link one. I'm gonna just say it because it's a little bit different, and then I'll say one. I'll say another one. I had Purple Tape, but I had Conway and West Side Gun.
I ain't mad at that either.
That makes sense.
I may like that better than my pool.
Right.
That makes sense.
With RZA, you kind of get the the flamboyant side of it and all that. I think it would be crazy if they did that. This one, I like it because I think it would be crazy. Dead Serious, Das EFX album with Freddie Gibbs and Eminem with Eric Sermon on production.
Okay.
All of that
crazy.
funk stickity wordplay, they could kill that. You know what I'm saying? Back to back. I think it would and they could do all the songs. I mean, obviously you have to do it in a different way, but Eric Sermon is the type of producer. He could probably flip his own beats in some regard. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that would be dope to hear that.
All right, that's dope. That's dope. JR, I totally forgot before I come to you. I actually have R&B ones too.
Yeah,
I want BJ. Oh, you got an R&B joint, Vern?
I got a bunch of R&B. Yeah.
All right, go. You do yours first.
Well,
if you got R&B after you do your hip hop, just do your R&B.
I probably did this different. So on the R&B, I chose a remake that I prefer over the original.
Oh well, we're gonna get to those.
Okay, well then wait. Okay, all right.
The joint that I'm talking about is I want BJ the Chicago Kid to redo D'Angelo's Voodoo. Because if people haven't heard it, that he has an EP called Salute to D'Angelo. That is dope. So if y'all haven't heard it, YouTube it. He does Always in My Hair and Always in My Hair. She's Always in My Hair. Send It On and Untitled. And he's got a video montage for it. Very dope EP. And just from hearing that, I was like, hearing him do Send It On and Untitled, it just makes perfect sense. So even if y'all don't agree with me, check out the EP. I think after you hear the EP, if you can't see the vision, I think you will definitely feel the vision after you watch the video. So that would be mine. JR, what you got up?
I'm gonna do one that's the safest. I would say I would want PJ Morton to do Talking Book from Stevie.
Man, at that at all.
I would want him because I would love for him to do like Tuesday Heartbreak, You and I, Blame It on the Sun, and it will work. He's off the Stevie tree. So at the end of the day, any Stevie album will work, but I would want him because he's the type that could also do You're the Sunshine of My Life too, and it will fit. And him doing it in the PJ way, but still just love Stevie like that. I would want to see. So I would do PJ and Stevie Talking Book.
The funny thing, JR, 5 mic album right here, PJ Morton's Gumbo.
Yes, sir.
Let me explain something to y'all about this album. I listened to this album. This is the first time this has ever happened in my life. I listened to this album and wrote a review after one listen and gave it 5 mics. I literally listened to the album once, was like, this is a 5 mic album, and wrote a review of it. We had PJ Morton on. Me and JR had him on. After I reached out to his team, sent them the review. They loved it. We chopped it up. Look it up. I'll link it. But that was a very dope interview too. Eddie, what you got for your first one?
All right. I got Little Brother remaking Stakes is High.
I was going to do that one. I was going to say that one. That's a good one.
Oh, wow.
I got Little Brother remaking Stakes is High. And so the production crew is going to be the same producers from May the Lord Watch. So Zoe makes the cut. Zoe makes the cut on this one as a producer. Along with Crisis, Knots, Focus, Black Milk, all them. You know what I mean? So, I would say for the production, I'm thinking more like let the producers kind of do their thing, but it's like here's the samples and like rework the samples. You know what I mean? Like don't make it exactly the same, but kind of tweak the samples. And for Fonte and Big Pooh, just play with the concepts of the songs. You know what I mean? I don't want you to do lyric for lyric. Maybe like interpolate certain parts of the original joints, but take the concept and make it your own.
Right. I think the thing that I love about this, and prayerfully people watching or even thinking about doing this, is that this all comes down to how creative you can be. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing. It's like, how can you now take something and make it your own? And I think that that's the piece that a lot of times, and again, in R&B remix, it's easy. We just gonna redo the song, we gonna sing the same lyrics. You know what I mean? I may do some different runs, but it's this is doing it differently and trying to make it your own. Rel, what do you got for your first one?
I got Doggy Style being done by Nipsey Hussle.
I like it. I like that.
I just think it'll be a natural fit, you know what I mean? Yeah. And production wise, I would like Battle Cat and Hit Boy to do the production. And I think it'll work. I think Battle Cat will give you that real West Coast feel with a little bit of, and then Hit Boy, doing what he does. I think it'll fit.
Right. I would even love that 2023 update. Like, I don't drink, so I don't know what the new gin and juice is, but like whatever is the new gin and juice, that's what we would call, call that joint or whatever like that. I don't know what y'all drink now. What's the new rum and coke? Like, they can 2023 it out. Rum and coke is like, I don't even know. I don't drink that. I'm cheap. I'm a cheap dick. Porsche, what you got up for your next one?
For my next one, I have Shay Noir redoing MC Light's Light as a Rock. And I would want Shay to produce it herself, because she's done production before. And the reason I picked Shay Noir is because I feel like she has that ability to kind of rap about things with depth. Like she has that ability to, it's not surface level, it's not over sexualized. I think she's very in line with MC Light's style as well. And then she's also got like a little more of a, what is the word I'm looking for? Like a grimier sound. So I would like to hear how that would contrast with what Light as a Rock currently sounds like. So yeah, and I'd want Shay to produce it.
Yeah, it's a dope pick. I definitely fuck with that joint. Zoe, what you got up next, bro?
In the lane of self-produced stuff, I would take Black Milk doing either Safe and Sound or Rhythmalism.
Okay.
By Quick, and just you know, just in the way that Black sounds of, like I'm huge. Dilla was like this too. Dilla was like this. Quick is like this. To where Diamond D is like this. To where they sound the best over their own shit. And you know, I feel like Black is in that lane. And with him expanding with live instrumentation, like I think that he could definitely pull either one of those albums off. I was gonna say Quick's debut, but I was like, let's move a little bit more toward Polish Quick, when he really started to hone in on his sound.
All right, I know my little sister's happy. I see a smile on Portia's face. If you say Quick,
I love
smile.
Oh man,
much, and
Quick is
that was great.
Yeah,
Quick is my guy.
I wish I wasn't so racist against perms, man. I could have caught the DJ Quick bug early, man. But Zoe, I saw him with that perm in 1990. I said, "Oh nah, nigga, I can't listen to this."
I was in the Midwest, so it didn't faze me.
Right. See, I was had perm. 91, you had a perm. He was like, "Nigga, like nah." You know, I didn't understand the culture.
Yeah.
I slept. I'm trying to stop being so closed-minded, y'all. The next one I got Mos Def, Talib Kweli, or Black Star getting redone by Kendrick, Lamar, and J. Cole. And beat-wise, I would want the same people, Sean J, High Tech, but I would want them to just add something to it. Just a little something, like a little something different. If you could think about the Buck 'Em Down remix, when you hear Buck 'Em Down, it's the same sample, Donald Byrd's Wind Parade, but when you hear the remix, they just kind of brought it out some. Same thing with EPMD's I'm Housing. They used the Aretha Franklin Rocksteady. You listen to the album version, same thing, but on the remix, they let Aretha come out in the chorus. Like, they just added something more to it to kind of give it that extra punch. Same exact thing with Tribe's Can I Kick It? You hear the original, it's the same drums, but you hear the remix, they add the Baby Huey to it. So it's just same samples, but just adding something to it to kind of beef it up a little bit more. And this is a very safe pick on the R&B side. I would just want October London to redo I Want You. That's my favorite Marvin album. I think October London would just body it. So again, very safe pick because he sounds just like Marvin. So I think he would just do perfect with that. Vern, what you got up next, bro?
All right, I got one R&B and one hip hop. Zoe got to help me. So I want Dave Hollister to redo one of James Ingram's joints, man. Got that growl, you know, that Pentecostal, you know. So I love to hear that. But on the hip hop side, I'm going Kendrick redoing the DOC's "No One Can Do It Better." And who I want on the board? I want them Cali niggas, Terrace, Kamasi, Thundercat. Can you imagine Thundercat on let the bass go? Right. I think that would be something dope. So
I mean, Thundercat with that Misdemeanor sample. We're funky enough, man.
Yeah, man.
Man, that alone is crazy, man. Yeah. And it's funny, I was actually thinking that one too. I was thinking that exact same thing with the No One Could Do It Better, man. But that would be dope, man. That would be dope.
That's one of my favorite Dre produced albums, period.
Oh yeah.
Truth be told, I've always said that. When cats now don't even feel like belaboring the Daz did the Chronic and all that, I'm like, well, the Daz do No One Can Do It Better? Because that shit, I prefer No One Can Do It Better than Niggas for Life, actually, to the Chronic and Doggy Style, production-wise. Everybody watching production-wise. From my producing here, why I cause a ruckus on Twitter again, from a production standpoint, I take the Chronic and Doggy Style, and again, just from the production standpoint.
Put your listening comprehension skills to work, people.
I'm trying, bro. They don't get it when I type it. So I'm hoping they get it when I say it. They definitely don't read the tweet. It's like Family Feud. Before Steve Harvey even finished, hit the buzzer. Like, I feel like people just read the first 4 lines of my tweet and just go to work. But, Vay, what do you got up next, good brother?
I got Paid in Full with Nas and Hit Boy.
Oh, interesting.
I think they can fill that. I know Hit Boy. Imagine Hit Boy's president. Imagine what he would do with that kind of beat, or flipping that kind of beat, and you already know what Nas is going to do, because he's in that Rakim lane. So I think that would be dope if they remade that. And
what's up, bro? Oh,
beat flips should include other hits. Right, like Microphone Fiend could be a beat flip off of one of the other songs. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
He like to do the beat flips, so that would be dope if he flipped to other Eric B. and Rakim hits.
Yo, that would be dope. That would be dope. Vern, what you gonna say?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask Vague, what is he gonna do with that Chinese arithmetic? The new version.
What do we do, Vegas? Still an interlude, or we gonna have Nas rhyme over it?
He gonna have to rhyme over it or something. Get me to rhyme over it. Whatever. Do not do that shit again.
I feel you. Had to block some people today because the Rakim slander was getting out of hand, man. Just was going over the top, man.
Twitter got some ignorant people.
I asked the boy, I said, man, can we please stop talking about Rakim? We do not agree. And then he came back and got like, fuck, now I gotta block you, bro. Like, damn, man. Like, he was just like, Rakim isn't better than like some UK MC. Like, what it was a picture of, I think, Busta, DMC, LL, Rakim, and somebody else, and Chuck D. And the guy was like, "Oh, Rakim comes last on that picture." And I'm like, "My nigga, we sure? like, is that your final answer that he comes last?" And then he just went into all this bullshit, and then just like, but it's like, man, why do we do this with our culture? Like, why is that? Like, you know what I mean? I don't see young guitarists being like, Jimi Hendrix ain't shit. I could beat him right now on the guitar. Like, I don't understand.
It's very much parallel to sports. It's a sports argument. It's that's how folks get their rocks off with it. And like, nigga, this is why I go on Twitter. I post my shows and I get the fuck out of there, dog. I'm good. I ain't arguing with none of you niggas. I'm good.
It's a hot take world we live in, man. You just want to say something stupid,
I mean, I think it's
high tech, low intelligence.
I think it's a hot take, but it's just like, why disrespect the older people? Like that's my only kicker. Like, you know what I mean? If you don't like Rakim, I totally understand that. Like I told you, I'm not a big Eminem fan. But at the end of the day, I would never sit here and try to tell you at Eminem's height he was not nice, or he was trash or something like that. Like I always tell people, like Fern, you are my wire brother. What Snoop say? Got nothing to deal with when he was talking to Michael.
He said,
you don't deserve to get that. She said, deserve got nothing to do with it. That's my thing. Like has nothing to deal with it. Like I hated Jordan. I grew up a Pistons fan. I despise Jordan, but I'm not gonna sit here and say he's not the GOAT. Like you don't have to like someone to be able to see that they're dope and things like that. And again, it's just one of those things where maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's a young trumpeter out there learning how to play trumpet who's like, man, Miles Davis ain't shit. Like, I just can't see. Like, for some reason, I just can't see. And I could be wrong, but
no, you're not wrong.
I just feel like there's a reference there that's just missing in hip hop.
That's the problem. That's the problem. Go ahead. We can get on that all day. Go ahead, man.
Babe, what were you gonna say? I know you want to say something.
I was gonna say, is this the same dude I saw on Twitter filming himself, throwing a Rakim CD down the steps?
No, I did not see that person. Nah, this was some other dude who was like, when he's DJing. This nigga really said, he was like, I was DJing for some billionaire. And I'm like, nigga, you was DJing for just some random billionaire. Just some, you don't know who he was, but you know, you never throw Rakim in your set when you're like going from hip hop to house. And I'm like, well, neither here nor there. But no, I didn't see anybody throwing Rakim.
I think that's the dude who said that Rakim fell off once he went solo.
Yeah.
That's the dude who said Rakim fell off once he went solo. He don't like none of them shits.
Yeah, he was like, from the 90s on, Rakim was whack. And I'm like, you do know the Ledge was 91 and it's been a long time and the saga continues and everything like that. But neither here nor there. But I did not see that one, Vague. Vague, you just went, right?
Yeah.
All right, JR, who you got up next?
I'm going to go back to the I Want You. I would want Raheem Devon to do it.
I'm not mad at that.
Yeah.
I would want him to do it, and I would have Leon Ware. Like, this would be like 97, 98, coming off of what he did with Maxwell with Urban Hang Suite. I think that would be dope. But Raheem to do that, that's his vibe anyway. I think he would kill it. He would kill that.
That would be dope. And I know I've said this before, and maybe one day we can figure out why. Why is Raheem Devon not like champion the way he should be? Like, this man, discography is damn near flawless. He can give you everything. He gives you bona fide slow jams. He gives you songs about political shit. He does the whole gambit. Like, but I feel like when we talk about male singers of the 2000s, like, his name is never, ever brought up. I mean, he damn sure don't even get the love in the here in the DMV like that. Yeah, you know what I mean? Vague,
He's not part of the machine, man.
But I feel like the machine, like, oh god, y'all know I'm stuck with names. Trey's man from Howard. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Eric
Robertson.
Right. Yeah. I feel like, but I don't feel like Eric is part of the machine, but his name gets mentioned. Then I think Raheem Devon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Eric,
and I mean,
Eric Roberson is like the top of the pyramid as it comes to independent artists.
Right.
Being honest, I mean, I think he set the standard that other people are following. I don't know. It's inexplainable to be honest with you, Kill. Because I don't know.
Yeah, like he does it all. Like anything you want, he does, and he can sing his ass off. You know what I mean? So it's not like he's one of the whisperers or anything like that. Like, this boy can sing. So, but Vegas, what were you gonna say?
I was going to say, I think, one, I totally agree. I probably seen Raheem Devon, not on purpose either, perform like 20 times because he's like, when I was down there in the DMV, somebody out, D'Angelo was out, at the what's that joint? The Pavilion, Merriweather. D'Angelo was supposed to perform one year and he was out. And I had already seen Raheem like 5 times. They were like, Raheem Devon. I'm like, of course. But that brother came out. You could tell, I don't know this for a fact, but because I've seen him do it more than once, you could tell he was just somewhere on some regular shit. They called him and he came. He didn't warm up. He didn't do nothing. He didn't do sound check.
Right.
And he was perfect. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was just singing like it was nothing. Crowd participation, entertainment. He's just pure talent. But I think the problem is when it first came out, and I'm a big D'Angelo fan, so I don't know about what you said earlier. I'm gonna have to listen.
Listen to it. I know nobody's gonna listen to shit tonight but Magic too, so I'm not even gonna say listen to it tonight. We can forget about it.
I'll definitely check it out.
But definitely check it out.
You will like it, man.
I think that was the problem. You know what I'm saying? I think he came out, if you had cornrows, we already said, he ain't coming up with D'Angelo. We even give you a break. But guess who loves you more?
Yeah.
You want to talk about a song I listen to annually, multiple times a year?
Right.
He killed that record. You know what I'm saying? So he deserves much more love. Like you said, his catalog is great.
But he came out in like 2005 when the new guys were coming out. And it was like Chris, Trey, Neo, all these dudes was coming out. So he kind of not gonna get that love because all 3 of them were getting it all. So it was like somebody ain't gonna get it. And then they want to throw him under that neo soul too, and that was kind of like dying it was kind of dead by like 2003. So it was like, where do you place him? You know what I mean? Right. With the Chris and the Trey and the Neo and the this, like, where do you put him? So it's like, that's why they kept him on Urban AC, and that's it. Like, he didn't get that push, but he's consistent. He has.
I always tell people this joint right here. A lot of people have not heard this album. It's a 5 mic classic for me. The first time I heard Raheem DeVaughn on this joint called My Peoples. Definitely, if you haven't heard this album, please check this album out. It's crazy. Again, I give it 5 mics. But Raheem, the first time I heard him on this, it's funny, babe, because my man Apex was like, "Yo, you love D'Angelo, you'll love Raheem DeVaughn." So, just like you said, like, you know, it just fit right into place. Eddie, what you got up next, good brother?
I think that's the first time I heard Arrow on
this joint.
That's the first time I heard Eric Roberson. Yep.
Yeah. And I mean, Kev Brown killed this album. It's the first time I heard Kev Brown and that whole crew from DMV out here. Odyssey was on this joint production wise. Again, 5 mics to me, man. A lot of people haven't heard this album, man. It's a very, very dope album. Eddie, what you got up next, good brother?
All right. I got Blue in Exile remaking Common Resurrection album.
Hey.
Okay.
I gotta remaking Resurrection because even though Blue and Exile, right, like on their first album, Blue said, you know, they were the new Pete and CL, right? Which I understand that's their inspiration, but sonically I hear more of that not the first Common album, but sonically I hear more of Resurrection. Because if you listen to Blue and Exile, like if you listen to that Miles album, it's very jazz influence. And I feel like Resurrection had a lot of jazz influence too. You know, what No ID was doing with Common. And even like Common's flows and his rhyme schemes and stuff like that is very similar to like Blue. Like Blue could be very abstract, like stream of conscious, like when he wants to, you know what I mean? Like he doesn't really fit into a box. And I feel like Common on that album, it also didn't fit into a box. Like he was more free flowing. I feel like on the later albums, he started conforming to a certain pocket more. So I definitely think that I will actually throw Surplus on there as another producer because, you know, I think No ID didn't produce over that Resurrection album. You could throw in Fashawn and Choosy as features as well.
All right. No doubt. Bro, what you got, bro?
All right, I got a hip hop and an R&B. For the hip hop one, like you said, Cuban Links with the Clips, right? Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go with Liquid Swords with Just Push It, because Liquid Swords is a very dark album. There's a lot of like drug stuff and sprinkled in that album as well. Then you got like what is it, Killer Hills 10304. You got the song that was off the Fresh soundtrack. Like those are like, I got your back. Like those are, and then you have the title track, which is, you know, a beat that's like, when we first heard it, it was different. You know what I mean? And I could see Push rhyming over that like he did Numbers on the Board, that type of beat. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna go with Pusha over I'm doing Liquid Swords. And for R&B, I'm gonna go Purple Rain, Bilal. And
I'm not mad at that.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it right there.
I'm not mad at that.
I'm gonna leave it right there. I think. I think.
JR, I gave you a tone of face. JR,
a good one though.
Oh, okay. Well, I was about to say you done fucked up now. JR got that. Sure says it. JR, why you looking at me in that tone of face? So,
No, that was yeah.
I was just listening to Bilal. Love for Sale today, man. Make me go. I mean, such an incredible album that so many people never got the chance to hear because of the show. But oh god, I love that. I mean, again, we did a show about shelved albums and how it would change the dynamic of how we see so many artists. But I feel like if that Love for Sale would have came out, to me, Bilal would have had 2 back-to-back 5 mic classics. You know what I mean? and that shelved albums, they just freed you, because then the fans, we're looking like, where you been for the past 5 years? And it's like, we had product, but it got shelved. So I'm not mad at that at all. Now you actually got me wanting to see that shit happen now, man.
And when he redid the Beautiful Ones at the awards, I don't know if y'all saw that. He went
killed it. Killed it.
He was the only one of the ones I wanted to see to do a tribute.
Exactly. Yeah.
A lot of people struggled. I'm gonna say that.
Did they? And he known too.
Yeah, he destroyed it. Like, he destroyed it. So I feel like he can make that happen.
That's dope. Pete, what you got up next, baby?
Okay, I have one R&B one. I don't know if I should save it or just say it, because I've got I don't know. Okay.
Throw it out there.
So for hip hop one, I've got Jean Grey redoing Hardcore, and I would want
Wow.
why are you laughing? Why are you laughing?
I don't know why Bird's laughing. I'm laughing
because Jean Grey. I mean, I feel you, Porsche, but Jean Grey is like the antithesis of
Yes, that is, and I have a hip hop one, another one with dudes that's gonna be the same. Like, I just feel like the subject matter would be a very big difference than what is normal for Jean Grey, and that's what I think would be not only challenging as an artist, but I think she's very capable, and I think that she could. It doesn't have, like, the way I think about it, doesn't have to be the exact same subject matter. It's her own spin, right? And I just feel like taking that kind of the track list and making it her own, I would really, really like to see that. And I'd want the production to be done by, you guys are going to hate me for this, but Trackmaster and Heat Makers. That's who I'd want in the mix, somewhere in there.
I mean, there's two track masters. There's the ones I like. There's the ones I don't like. So it could go either way. It could go either way.
But I think that it would work. I think that it would work. So
no. I would love to see it. It's definitely a challenge one. That's a challenging one. You know what I mean? But I would love to see. Now, would you want Jean getting freaky, or you don't want to freaky? You just want to.
I would like her to do that subject the way that she would do it. I wouldn't want it to be as explicit as Lil' Kim did it, but I want like the Jean Grey version of that, and I think that it would be. I honestly think she could, and I think she could make it her own and not come off as weird or cringy or something like that. I think it would work, honestly.
That's dope. Vig, you want to say something?
I was going to say I agree with Porsche. I think Jean Grey could do that. Even if she got a little raunchy with it, because I think her personality would lead you to, it wouldn't throw me off. Bahama-Dia is the antithesis of him. If you said some of that shit, I'd be like, nah, man.
Yo, the funny thing is, my man, we talk about hip hop logos, and my man posted Bahama-Dia's logo, and I was like, nah, bro. Like, somebody blind did this shit. It's like a Medusa lizard. I'm like, nah, bro. This was an epic fail as far as not at all. And I could see Gene a little bit.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that would just be disgusting. But the flip of it would be, is I think, like Vig said, I could see Jean, because the thing I love about Jean Grey is she's really big on that. Like, don't look at me like a female MC. Like, hold me in the same standard as everybody else, so I can talk my shit too. You know what I mean? Like, it may not be the lane you think of me of, but don't think that I can't get just as dirty with the, with everybody else.
And look, really quick, just to add, all Lil' Kim was doing is what guys have been doing in hip hop for years. She was just doing it from a woman's perspective. That's why I think Jean Grey could do it, because it's empowering women's sexuality the way we do. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's why we liked it, right? Because it was the same vibe and same energy. So.
Right. All right, Zoe, what you got up next, bro?
I did. I got Tyler the Creator redoing "There Is a Dark Side."
Yo, that would be.
Wow. Damn.
And the wild part is, especially off this last album, I could definitely see that.
Because like with Tyler, you know what I mean, he like Redman don't take himself seriously at all.
Mhm.
So, you know, and Redman is one of my favorite MCs. Period. Just super nice, very very strategic, very witty, very comical. So he mixes all that together, and I think Tyler does that as well. He, you can see that, even with the freestyle that he did on Flex's show, and just he's able to right, the meme and all, like he's able to take his full personality and throw it directly into the music, which is that's what Reggie does, man. And I would have Eric and Reggie on the production.
That's dope. That's dope. I definitely could see that. I would have struggled with that prior to this last album, but this last album is what made me a Tyler fan. You know what I mean? Because my daughter was playing it for me, and I was like, she was playing Lumberjack for me, and I was like, kind of hard. Who this? She was like, Tyler. I was like, this is Tyler, Creator. You know what I mean? So definitely, I could definitely see that for this joint. The next joint I got up is I'm thinking College Dropout. One of the reasons why I love College Dropout and the old Kanye so much was because I felt like it was I felt like it was adult contemporary hip hop. Like the things that he was talking about and all those things. And when I think adult contemporary hip hop, the first MC that comes to mind is Fonte. So I would have Fonte redoing College Dropout, same beats, but new lyrics, but still on those topics. So maybe 2023 in it, like all the stuff he was talking about, but more of an adult, just for what it is going on right now. On the R&B side of things, I want Summer Walker. I'm gonna look at JR right now. I want Summer Walker to redo Mama's. No.
Really?
I mean, here's the thing. We were just talking about the Clear 2 EP, and she sounds just like Erica on that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to sell you. You're the guru. So, I mean, you're like, I feel like you're like Simon Cowell. So, thumbs up, thumbs down. But when I'm listening to Clear 2, like Tanya was like, is this Erykah Badu? Why does she sound just like Erykah Badu?
Yeah, I guess it would fit. Yeah, I wouldn't do the Mama's Gun. I'll pick another Erykah album, but not that one.
Baduism?
Hell no.
Oh, okay. I guess it's not.
The New Americas.
Right. Where we gonna go? What album we going to?
Worldwide Underground. Unreleased.
The unreleased Erykah.
She can do Worldwide Underground. She can do that one.
All right, so you're the R&B guru.
Try to give her the whack one.
Right, the whack one. He's like, he can do the whack one. Like the shirt says, why you look at me in that tone of face? So who would you? Yeah, I'm gonna put you on the spot. Who could redo Mama's Gun for you?
That's a good question.
That's a good one.
Yes.
It would be none of these new girls, no.
Well, we know it's not the Whisperers, so, but I mean, outside them.
I don't even know, to be honest. I think Erykah made that album for Erykah to be made. Like, maybe somebody can do like a remake a song off of it or something, but that album was creatively her. So I couldn't even think of nobody to remake that album at all.
You know what? I can't remember who it is. I'm gonna find it. Somebody redid Green Eyes recently. I gotta find it, but I'll send it to you. Somebody did redo that one song.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'll find it. Vern, what you got up next, bro? After Jerry just shot down my, pause everybody else's shit. Come to me, it's like, nah, nigga.
Oh, God.
So for my R&B, I'm going with my love, my baby, Musina, redoing my other love, Self-Portrait with Layla Hathaway, man.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I want to see that. And then on the hip hop side, I'm going staying in the South, man. I'm going Big Crit, redoing Scarface's The Diary. And I need Rico, Ray, and Pat on the boards, man.
Okay. All right. I ain't mad at that, man. I ain't mad at that. Babe, what you got up next, bro?
Right, what I have. Rick Ross doing "Ready to Die" with Knots and Justice League.
I ain't mad at that, man.
It's something about he doesn't have to emulate Biggie, but he kind of does give you a vibe, a certain cadence. Like when you work with Puff a couple of times, at first I was thinking like, don't do what I think you're doing.
Well, that's what Puff was trying to do. He's trying to sign Rick Ross and Nicki Minaj and make them the new Biggie and Little Kim.
Right, but the good thing about Rick Ross is he's uniquely him.
Right,
and I think he could pull it off because I was thinking about a couple of the songs, and I'm like, Rick Ross could do a Warning, he could do a Juicy, he could do a Everyday Struggle. He's kind of done all of those kinds of things, not necessarily to the lyrical depth of Biggie, but again, this is not emulating Biggie. This is in your own way, and paying homage. And I think he can pull that off. Especially things done change, right?
Right.
He don't miss with that music, man. He don't miss with that music.
Right.
He don't miss.
That's the biggest some killer dudes, man. I love their music, man.
Yeah. JR, what do you have, good brother?
All right, so I got Usher doing Off the Wall.
I'm not mad at that.
I think he can, and then I would, who I would want him to do, because now I was thinking about it. I think I would want him to do that album with the Neptunes.
Okay.
That's what we make his magic with.
Exactly, and I think that would work.
Yeah, you're right.
Do you want Usher now, or is there a certain circuit Usher, like Usher, 2000, Usher 97?
You know what? Usher can probably do it now, to be honest. I think he can still do it now, to be honest. If he get with the Neptunes and all that, and he like horn into it, I think Usher will kill it. And it's like polished and all that as he is now, I think it will work. I think he would feel awful.
I don't think we give Usher the due he deserves, but he is a throwback, like from the Showman, the Mics, those. He ain't with the just some young boys that can sing and dance. It's more to it than that, man. He's a professional.
Yeah. I mean, I think the testament is anybody black wants to go to Vegas and see Usher's show. Like, it's like,
I was just about to say that.
Yeah. I don't know anybody I want to go to the fucking Vegas and see Usher's show. Like, he's got hits, you know what I mean? And not just hits, but great songs. Like, to me, there are people who have hits that are hits, but he's got hits that are great songs. Like, and there's a difference between making the two. And I mean, and just his tiny little desk. I mean, tiny little. Is it tiny desk?
Tiny. Double like tiny, yeah.
That's a small desk, bro.
Little small desk.
Tiny little baby desk. His tiny desk was dope as shit to me. You know what I mean? So, like you said, I think that shit can pull it off now.
Yeah.
I think that residency is really opening a lot of folks' eyes
Right.
to not only like his legacy, but like his longevity. And it's like, this is a dude to be able to hold down a residency and consistently, this is how many years is this now? Like his second or third year of this residency? Like to be able to do that, and still people are coming, and they're wanting to go, and we gotta go, and like it's a must see attraction in Vegas. Like he's bringing in his own tourism at this point.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Right.
that's a testament to he's been in it 30 years now. So
yeah. And the funny part is with the Keke Palmer, now niggas can't send their wives no more. So now wives want to go even more. So like, shit, I can't go watch, nigga. Let's go. Like, you got more women going to see Usher than Beyonce, which is like unheard of. So but now I think that's a dope pull, JR. I definitely think that would be dope. That would be dope. Eddie, what you got up next, good brother?
All right, man. I got Griselda. So when I say Griselda, I mean, Benny Conway and Westside Gunn redoing Money, Power, Respect. I think they would kill that album. You know what I'm saying? And obviously, paying respect to the Lox, who, basically put upstate New York on the map as far as hip hop goes. You know what I mean? So, now Griselda's that. You know what I'm saying? And I think the subject matter is right in their wheelhouse. You know what I'm saying? Hardcore hip hop album. So as far as the production wise, I'll get Hit Boy in there. You know what I'm saying? Because they have some hits. I think Hit Boy could give them that. And then you got to have Derringer in there. You got to have Alchemist in there, and their in-house producers. But definitely need Hit Boy to kind of hold it down with the beats and stuff too.
All right, no doubt. Well, what you got up?
I have Uptown Saturday Night by Camp Lo being done by Mos Def and Kanye.
Okay. Okay. I was wondering where you want to go because I was thinking Camp Lo. I was thinking that album, but I couldn't think of who I would want to do it. So I like your pull.
Yeah, I think the rapid flow, like Mos Def can do that. Mos Def can change his flow up. He can do that. He kind of that whole 70s theme stuff. He's with that. Kanye at one point was with that. Like I just feel like it'll work perfectly. And College Dropout, Kanye producing that would be perfect. Yeah. I'm saying I think it would fit perfect.
The one person I couldn't think of another. I wanted to use Ish from Diggable Planets just because him and Suede sound so much alike. Like how they did on Swing. But I could never think of the second person who I could throw in with them for that. And while we're talking about Camp Lo, if people watching haven't heard 80 Blocks from Tiffany's Part 2 produced by Pete Rock, please go listen to that. It's an incredibly dope album. Even the stuff that I would look at the listing and I'm like, they got a song with Uncle Murder? But the shit was crazy. I'm like, yo, it was crazy. Then I'm looking at it like, they got a song with M.O.P., Camp Lo and M.O.P., and that shit is crazy. Like, it's literally looking at the track, it's like, how the fuck y'all got Camp Lo and Uncle Murder? Like, M.O.P. Yeah. The album is very dope. 80 Blocks from Tiffany's Part 2, Pete Rock on the boards, trust me.
That nigga Suede is nasty, man. I that's like one of my favorite MCs, but I love his cadence, all that stuff. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Did you hear their version of Feeling It that Jay-Z took?
I didn't. It's on you.
Yeah, the demo version.
Yeah. They have because it was their song,
right?
That I guess he heard through Ski or whatever. It's really good, and you can hear the imitation of flow that Jay-Z used that they had used on that song already, because he wanted Lucchini as well.
Yep.
If you watch that interview, he wanted to take that as well. They was like, hell no. Like,
right. You ain't taking the bread and butter, nigga. You ain't taking the bread and butter. All right. P, what you got up next, babe?
I'm still recovering from Vegas seeing Rick Ross on Ready to Die.
Hey, the nigga didn't say Drake on Ready to Die. I mean,
next song.
I guess. Anyways, so I'm gonna say my R&B one after this because I only have one. But I got Tracy Lee doing Master Ace's Disposable Arts and the producer Ojiz. And the reason is that Tracy Lee is very, very exceptional with concept albums. And I think that he would be able to take that Disposable Arts down to the core and then redo the same theme, but in his very own way with OJ's on production. And I just think their chemistry is so good. So I feel like that would be brilliant as a remake. And I don't know that I would want anyone else to do it, to be honest. And that's my favorite Master Ace album. So yes, Tracy Lee, Disposable Arts, OJ's. And then my R&B one, oh my God, I'm scared of JR. I'm actually scared.
Everybody's scared of JR. Everybody is when they say their pick. It's like everybody just looks at JR like.
I've got Brown Sugar D'Angelo doing adjustments, and I would want Q-Tip and Raphael Sadiq to be the producer. I'm scared.
Wait, we didn't hear who?
I said remaking who?
Bill Withers' Adjustments album.
I'm not mad at that.
Okay, so D'Angelo redoing Bill Withers' Adjustments album with Raphael Sadiq.
I'm mad at that.
reason for that is because the sound of like Bill Withers on that Adjustments album is very, very soulful, very D'Angelo-ish. I want to say more Voodoo D'Angelo, but I'd want Brown Sugar D'Angelo because I didn't really mess
Yeah,
with
because we can understand him better, so I'm with you on that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm so glad that JR wasn't that. Thank God.
Yeah, Porsche. I'm glad he liked yours because, of course, he didn't fuck about it. Yeah, neither here nor there. You all rocking back and forth for Porsche. For me, you sitting here rolling your eyes. It's okay. It's okay. So, what you got up next, bro?
All right, I got two more and I'm tapped out.
All right.
So for my R&B one, I've got I'm gonna shout out to homie Cy Smith, who I'm actually working on an album with right now with Tall Black Guy.
Bro, I've been saying that,
and
we need that in our life, man.
Yeah, we handling the bulk of that production. But Cy Smith redoing "Come to My Garden" by Minnie Riperton.
Absolutely.
That's just, she and I have talked about that album before. I think in my bucket list, if there is one, production wise, it is to produce an album similar to that, where I'm using, full strings and full orchestration and, actually perform it live at home with the Detroit Symphony Orchestra. Like that's a dream. That's a dream of mine. So she and I have talked about this. She's performed with orchestras before. And I've always wanted to present my music that way, but also wanted to present it in a recorded way as well. So when I think of Minnie and that album, like I think of her. They're kind of in the same range, and
Oh my God!
She's
close your eyes and remember too.
Oh no, it would get real ugly. Like she's one of the best singers that I know personally. So
hey man,
I would have to put
Zoe and Cy make magic together. I'm telling y'all.
Yes, they do.
Man. Woo. Greatest weapon of all time. Lake Erie, the train. Yeah. I can't wait. Yeah.
Word. Yeah. Y'all are in for it. Y'all in for a treat, man. Trust. And so this my wild card, man. I got a wild card. This the hip hop joint. So I got Coast Contra redoing Bizarre Ride to the Far Side.
I can see that.
Hell yeah. I can see
that.
Hell yeah.
And that's just because, it's four cats, like, and every time I see them, each one of their personalities comes out differently when they rhyme. And that's kind of what I miss about hip hop. Like, just everybody, when you got a group and, everybody's distinct. Ghetto Boys, Willie D comes in totally different from Scarface, totally different from Bushwick.
Yeah.
Everybody has their own, fits in their own lane, and it's like a puzzle. And the Ghetto Boys is not it without those three pieces, type of thing. And I kind of see that in them, just in the short time that they've kind of been around and made their mark. I would probably attribute that to a couple of their parents.
Right.
Right.
Now, I know one is Raskas's son. There's another one whose parent, who's an MC. Their parent is an MC.
I don't know. I just know the Raskas and and Teedra, yeah.
Right.
On the boards, I'm not really sure. I would probably say Prince Paul.
Okay. Okay. It's funny when you said Coast Contra. I was also thinking Lita's first album too. You know what I mean? I was thinking that way too.
I wrote down Bizarre Ride, and I also wrote down 93 Till.
Yeah, that would be dope too. That'd be dope too. Next joint I got up, Vern. I'm gonna look at you for this one. All right, I gotta see if I get Vern's approval on this one. I want AT Aliens done over.
Okay.
By Earth Gang.
I ain't mad at that because they're a descendant of that lineage. So yeah, I ain't mad at that.
All right, and I'd want Organized to use the same samples, but again, remake them, beef them up to 2023, add something, to them. But I kept hearing about Earth Gang, but this last album I really, really fucked with. Like, I really liked their last album. So yeah, I think that would be dope. And here's another one. I'm gonna wait till JR comes back. You know what I mean? So we can put on some Jeopardy music or something. Wait for him to come back. All right, fuck it, he ain't coming back. I'll wait till he comes back around for mine. Vern, what you got next for yours?
All right, so before I go there, I want to go back to what Porsche said about the Bill Withers album. Do yourself a favor. If you love that album, Musina did a version of Can We Pretend on Instagram. Man, she freaked that to all the life out of it, man. But as you can see, I'm a Musina fan. But I'm gonna go. Zoe started off with somebody that I was gonna say I'm going Black Thought and I'm going Long Live the King. Simple as that. And I'll let Hit Boy produce it.
All right.
For Set It Off alone.
Right.
Yeah.
JR, here's my R&B one.
Yes.
Right? Diary of a Madman.
Mm-hmm.
Drew Hill, circa 97.
Not mad at it.
Okay.
I'm not mad at it. Would you want me to? Okay, kill that shit sucks.
No, I don't want you to. No, I don't want you.
That's
to be
what you
mad
want.
at it. No, I don't. I'm just trying to. I'm trying to get a.
No, that I'm not mad at all. That right there.
I just always thought Cisco and KC were like right there. Like I love.
Oh, they Jodeci descendants, 100%.
Period.
Yeah, I just Cisco. I know they make fun of the yellow hair and the thong song, but I'm like, yo, Cisco can sing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
We gonna bang.
Oh yeah.
Vegas, tell you back about them Harvard, them. What was that shit? The fudge where they used to work at Vegas down at the Harbor.
Oh yeah, the fudgery.
Yeah, the fudgery. Like down there in National Harbor, man. The 95. Them people would be down there singing. So all right, Drew Hill. So Burns just went vague. What you got up next?
As a Jodeci fan, I do not approve.
You don't? At all?
Well, that's the weakest album anyway. So
yeah.
Y'all like the first Jodeci and the After Party better than Diary?
I like
that. No, I'm lying. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm not bad. Yeah, the Diary of a Madman is the best. Yeah, my bad.
All right, but Vay, you're not feeling Drew Hill.
I love Drew Hill. I don't know if I want
that out.
I don't know if I want to make jokes.
All right, I understand.
Singing wise, yes.
Right.
But if you speak to Jodeci with that title,
right,
that kind of played into the whole listening experience for me.
Got it.
Cisco, I look at him like, come on, man.
I will say this because Vern brought up Dave Hollister. Everybody, when you get a chance, go to YouTube, put in like Dave Hollister's background singers. His little brother sings, and it's like this thing where he's like letting his background singer sing. The girl is amazing. His little brother does Tell Me from Jodeci. From Drew Hill, kills it. So just check that out. It's only like a 3-minute clip, but it's very dope. Just made me think about that from Vern. So Vay, what you got up?
This is the last two?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know why I wrote this, but it sounds interesting. EPMD's Unfinished Business.
Now, which one is that? I always get confused.
That's the second album.
All right.
With them spitting on the cars or whatever. So What You Saying and all
right.
that. Rating Ghosts, produced by Pink. I just could see Rating Ghosts just flipping all those records. Like, Knick Knack Paddywhack sounds stupid today. Back then, we thought it was hot.
Right.
But somehow hearing Ghosts say that,
right.
I think I'd be with it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
here's a funny thing. I really never realized the hip hop remake of Beans and Bleak with So What You Saying.
Right.
Which was dope. You know what I mean? So yeah, I could definitely, but I was just saying that as a remake. I never even thought of it as one, but of course it is. But yeah, I definitely could see those.
That beat.
And right, yeah.
And the last one I have is Ransom and No ID doing Reasonable Doubt. I think Ransom could pull off that whole hustler, striving situation, and then No ID could probably give him the essence of what Reasonable Doubt was production wise. Because when I first heard Reasonable Doubt, that was my knock on it. I felt like compared to everything else that was out, like when I'm listening to the message, it was great. I'm like, what are these beats compared to what was out at the time? But it grew on me over time, and I just like the entire vibe of it. Originally, I had Jay-Z and No ID making Reasonable Doubt because when you listen to Jay-Z's lyrics back then, it was kind of his version of Get Rich or Die Trying, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was this hustler trying to get to this level, but now he's there or beyond it. So I would love to hear him flip his own music from a perspective in the future where he's kind of, realized all of his goals as a hustler. So I thought that would be dope too.
Now that's a dope concept because I'm sitting here like to go backwards. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like the young you talking to the old you, or the old you talking to the young you.
Right.
So that could be dope too. That could be dope too. All right, Gerald,
your own OG.
Yeah, like you're your own OG. So it's kind of like, when you did X, Y, and Z, you should have done X, Y. Gerald, what you got up next?
I got the Shandellas doing the Emotions Rejoice.
Yes.
I got them doing that Rejoice album, man. They will kill it. Harmony wise.
When's the new Shandella album coming out, man?
It's coming out, and it's on pre-sale.
Okay.
They just came out with this joint called Juicy Kill. To me, it's Volcano Love Part 2.
Okay. So is that a good or bad thing?
Good, because then you like it. Do you like
Volcano Love? But it's like somebody saying this Lucchini Part 2. It's like,
oh no,
good or bad? Like, okay.
No, you will like it. You'll like it. But I think they would be dope, like just to hear their harmonies and how thick it is, to see them do Key to My Heart and Bless and Rejoice, like just to see them to do that, and for Chuck Harmony and Corey Kelly to kind of put that together, I think that would be dope. I would want them to even do a cover of the Emotions, for real.
If nobody out there watching has heard of the Shandellas, please go listen to it. JR been telling me about them for months. Yeah. And I was sleeping. I listened to them once, and I swear they've never left the rotation. So definitely, anybody out there saying they missing female groups that can sing, this is exactly your wish right there. You know what I mean? So definitely check them out. Eddie, what you got up for your last two?
Last two. Okay. The first one. This is my obvious one. I got Kendrick Lamar redoing America's Most Wanted. And I got on production, I got Soundwave, Dr. Dre, and Terrace Martin.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I just think obviously the West Coast thing, and Ice Cube always been political. Kendrick Lamar has a political side, but also like if you look at what he did on like Good Kid, Mad City, like he kind of told those tales and stuff as well. So I feel like he could definitely pull it off.
All right.
And my last one. This one is kind of like genre bending somewhat, you know what I mean? But hear me out. I got Pharoah Monch and his band 13. So you know how he put out that 13 project?
Right.
So him, Daru Jones, and Marcus Machado, I got them remaking Rage Against the Machine, Battle of Los Angeles, but it'll be like Battle of New York.
That's cool. I can see that.
I've never heard Rage Against the Machine, that album, but it sounds good. I'm intrigued, but I don't know if they can redo it because I never heard the album, but it sounds intriguing. I'm one of the few people on the planet Earth who actually like that 13 album, so yeah. Nah, that's very dope. That's dope, man. I just need to listen to the album. Is that a good Rage album to start with? Because I've never really been a fan. I'm keeping it above.
No, start with the debut.
The debut is the best one?
Yeah.
Well, if you want to start, I would say go there. But, what do I consider the... I like Evil Empire.
Evil Empire?
Yeah, they got Bulls on Parade on there. Yeah, I think that's the one.
I like that, yeah.
All right, no doubt. Rel, what you got up for your last two?
Okay, I have a hip hop and an R&B one. So I'll do the hip hop one first. I got Commons B, being done by Lupe Fiasco, um, and produce same producer, but just done in Lupe's way. Like he's gonna add something off the wall to it. He's definitely gonna add his own take on that album. You know what I mean? And my R&B one, I have Sade Stronger Than Pride, done by Alex Isley, music by Robert Glasper.
Oh Jesus!
That makes sense. That makes total sense.
Oh, what?
Here, take my money. Take my money.
I say some shit. I say some shit. J.R.'s not mad. Rel say some shit. This nigga done fell over the couch 5 times.
Yo, nobody. What? Alex Isley? What?
Yeah, Alex, bro. Alex can sing the phone book right now. She can have all my money, dog.
Nay, please, Alex Isley all the time. All the time. All the time.
Man, T raised her right, man. Shout out to T.
How come T raised her right?
Because I'm messing with you, man.
I had a point of this
Because I'm messing with
you. Nah. And I forgot. I had one more. This is kind of like a producer flip. I would want Jake One to redo Pete Rock Soul Survivor. Same samples, but Jake One would have to flip them and still work with the same group of MCs. But I really think Jake could flip all those samples that Pete used, rocking with the same MCs. Now let's talk about R&B remakes that were better than the original. I thought about this because last week in my teen center, y'all, 4 guns got pulled out in one day. Middle school kids fighting, parents pulling up deep, pulling out guns. Like, it's like kids, these are just kids. They just kids, and all this is going on between the hours of 12 and 5 when my teen center was open. So when I got to my teen center, I said, you know what? When I have to get work done, I play slow jams, and it's usually from the 80s. So I said, you know what? Fuck this. I'm gonna pull the speaker out, pull it outside. And all this week, I've been playing 80s love songs, and it's been quiet. It's been no violence, like whatsoever. Nobody's been fighting. Nobody's been doing anything. So
because everybody loves love, Kill. Everybody loves love. They just need to.
I can't wait till you come out here to visit me in Southeast and you see the neighborhoods I work in. I don't think nobody loves love in Southeast DC. They don't love it. They don't love it at all.
I've been at a couple project parties where the slow jams is on and niggas is fighting. So
right. But I think it's hard to slap somebody with Love Me in a Special Way playing by Elder Bar. I just think it's hard to argue with that going on in the background. I actually had 2 parents about to fight once, and this when Boot Up was big, and I put it on, and everybody ended up singing, and it was like fucking music calms the savage beat. So I'm saying I've had a successful week of no violence in the neighborhood. I was playing Renee and Angela's My First Love, and when she came on, I was just like, I was thinking Kiki White, and when it wasn't there, I was like, yo, Kiki killed this. They killed this better than that. Yeah. So that is one of my 5. I'm gonna just do 5. We could just list them all. I got Kiki and Avant, My First Love. I got Intros, Ribbon in the Sky. I've got Jodeci's Lately from Uptown Unplugged. I've got This Woman's Work from Maxwell over Kate Bush, and I got Who Can I Run To Escape over the Jones Group. So those are my 5 R&B remakes that I think are better than the original ones. Porsche, what you got?
I actually only have one. I guess I missed this part of the assignment.
I already know what it is.
Okay, guess. This is so exciting.
It is. Oh God! It is those. It's a duet. It's the duet, right?
I know what it is. I know what it is.
Is it a duet, Porsche?
I think.
I guess I have like 3.
I know what it is.
I don't know the names, bro. My brain.
Is it the Allure All Cried Out?
Yeah. There you go.
Yes.
All right. You know she loves that.
And then I've actually got a couple. So Allure All Cried Out, Boys to Men on any Beatles cover. Like Boys to Men is better than the Beatles to me, hands down.
And is.
What?
And is.
Yeah. And then Brandy and Ray J redoing that Phil Collins joint.
I apologize. You gotta tell me that one. Ray J?
What Phil Collins joint?
Yeah, they
You
did
mean Down
another
Without
day in
You? You
paradise.
In Paradise. I don't know if it's better than the cover, but I think it's noteworthy. I
What's the
gravitate.
name of it? Meet Me in Paradise?
Another Day in Paradise.
Yeah,
Oh,
Rage,
Another Day in Paradise.
and they did phenomenal. And then Monica redid that. What's that dude's name? What's the song? Monica redid. This is one of my favorite songs. Right Here Waiting by Richard Marx.
Right here,
She-
yes, he did.
And
Did that? I gotta check that out.
down.
Hold on.
Yeah, Monica's redo of the Richard Marx joint is it's better than the original. So that's what I'm going with.
All right. Zo, what you got, bro?
Any story. Thank you.
Not at all. What you got, Zo?
All right, I got 6.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start with All I Do Is Think of You by Troop over the
Man,
Jacksons.
he coming on the show going out the big joker already.
We done put out the big joke already, Bird.
Yeah,
Came out guns blazing.
My fault. I got 5. All right. Earth, Wind and Fire's Can't Hide Love, covering Can't Hide Love from Creative Source. I've got the New Birth Wildflower, which was a cover from Skylark. Skylark did that originally.
Well, here's the thing. I'll be the person to say I didn't know neither one of those were covers. So thank you. So I can go listen to the original joints. You said Can't Hide Love was who?
Was Creative Source.
Creative Source.
Mhm.
All right.
Shout out to DJ Dez from Detroit. He put me onto that. So I got a couple other ones you may not know. Love TKO is a cover of David Oliver. He did that first.
Didn't know that one either.
Who ironically, I think he also did Friends and Strangers first before Ronnie Laws.
Ronnie Laws.
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Really? Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know any of these good brothers.
What's his name, Zoe? I need to keep for that. What's his name?
David Oliver. He did it. He did Love TKO in 1980. I think he died a couple years after that too.
Yep, he did.
New Edition, Mr. Telephone Man is a cover of Junior Parker.
I didn't know. Okay, I found that out like very recent, like this year recently.
And my last one, I'm gonna go out on a limb because this is one of my favorite songs from the 80s. Don't Disturb This Groove by The System, which is that's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
But Michelle and Cello murdered that joint.
I didn't even know she did that.
Oh yeah, bro. Yeah, she killed that.
I love his album, bro.
I'm
getting goosebumps right now.
Yeah,
it does.
Oh,
it's
I didn't
crazy.
even know she remade that.
Yeah, man.
She
The
took
tone
it.
of her
She
bass is
took
crazy.
it. It's like if you if you walking in DC with the blossoms, like if you just walking in the middle of that shit and you just looking up and that song is playing, like that's the soundtrack for it. Like she put her fucking foot in that joint, man.
Them background vocals, man. All them stacks and layers. Yeah, she went crazy.
Yes.
All right.
It's beautiful. She made it it's a beautiful song, man.
I gotta check all these joints out. Good looking. Vern, what you got, good brother?
I'm like Zoe. I can't count. I'm on the metric system. Like, all right. I'm gonna start at the top, man. Layla Debo, Cherish the Day, bro, with Robert Glasper, man.
Yeah.
Sorry, Helen. All I Do is Think of You, Troop, like he said. Then I'm gonna go All I Do, Stevie, as opposed to Tammy Terrell.
I like the Tammy version. I like the Tammy version.
I didn't know that was a remake. All I Do.
Tammy did it first. Yes.
Here go one for you, Porsche. Boys to Men redid that Sarah Smile, bruh. Them harmonies, woo, it's crazy. Then another Layla. Sorry, Auntie Anita. Angel, man. That live version of Angel, crazy. Background vocals just stupid. Portia, you gonna love this too. Earth, Wind and Fire just kicked the Beatles in their head with that "Got to Get You Into My Life." Man, it's like Beatles who, and And then I'm gonna go. Well, here's one that I like both of them, but Isley just put that stank in it. I love Seals and Crofts Summer Breeze because I love them 70s acoustic harmonies. But then Ernie on that guitar and Ron doing his thing, putting that syrupy soul in it. And then my last one, I love this song. Christopher Cross did his thing, man. But Avant understood the assignment on Sailing, man.
Yes, he did.
That remake, yeah, he did his thing. So those
I didn't know Avant did that.
Oh yeah.
All right, I gotta check that out. All right, Veg, what you got?
Totally forgot to make a list, man. So I've been kind of freestyle.
Hey, you an MC, brother? You an MC? You can do it, bro. I know you can. Man.
Nah, man, I got a lot of R&B, bro. Like I got a lot of old JR now.
Right.
R&B representatives now. KC, If You Think You're Lonely Now.
The Jason's Lyric joint, yep.
He killed that joint. Luther Vandross, Cheryl Lynn. If This World Were Mine.
Yes.
Luther has, with me at least, I don't care who did the original once I've heard
all Luther.
Yeah, you go Superstar.
Right. Go down the line.
You can do
he be making that shit a movie.
Yeah, you can just go everything Luther. Like it's like running to Boston. It's like you ain't even got to put no cars out. Like we just go run to Boston.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. And what was the other one? I think I said it already though. I had Escape because I like the Jones Girls version, and it's really similar, but they put a little bit extra oomph on it. That made me love that song even more just because of the way they sung it. So damn man, what's the other one I had? This one's kind of weird, and maybe I'm being a Michael Jackson fanboy, but his Heartbreak Hotel. I saw the concert version. I just loved it. It ain't like I cared about what Elvis did, right? But I just started to look at it like that's Michael's song now. Goddamn,
right?
Go like this. But I just thought it was so dope because it's kind of what we said earlier, right? Your own spin on it because they don't sound alike at all. But yeah, that's all I can freestyle at the moment.
All right, what you got, bro?
I forgot, man. Aretha Franklin. Sorry, Marvin, but Holy.
Oh
man,
yes,
man, bro, it make you cry just hearing it. It ain't even R&B, but I just had to throw that in.
Yeah.
All right, JR, what you got?
All right, D'Angelo's Cruising. Definitely better than Smokey's. I got Brownstone. I Can't Tell You Why, which was done by the Eagles.
Oh my God, I love that song.
They switched.
I Can't Tell You Why, dog. I have driven from Waldorf to DC just with that song on repeat. Man, that's such a great song.
That's 5 hours for y'all if y'all don't know.
It's like Yo, so people be telling me, nigga, we ain't coming to your crib, man. You live too goddamn far, man. You live too
in Waldorf? Shit, we gotta take off work.
That's flight worthy.
Yo, it's so funny, bro. I met one of my people from Twitter at the show, and he was like, "Yo, Kill, man, I want to come over and learn about the machine." I was like, "Bro, I live in Waldorf. I'm just giving you the heads up, nigga. You in Baltimore? I'm in Waldorf. Yo, you take the ride if you want."
No.
I had to get a boy a heads up. Like, I'm just letting you know, it's an all-day trip. You come out here, my nigga. This ain't no drive-by. Like, nigga, you stay for a while. You know what I mean?
And one way in and one way out. I didn't learn that shit till I got the out.
Man, what?
Yeah. Yo, Bay come down, we recording the whole day. There ain't no talking. There ain't no time to how's your family, nigga, record.
That's like having, that's like asking somebody to pick you up from Dulles. Somebody pick me up from Dulles. Like,
bro, it ain't happening. It ain't happening, man. It's not gonna happen, man. That's hilarious. JR, you finished your list?
Nah, I got 3 more. I got New Birth, I Can Understand It. The original was done by Bobby Womack. Another one is Music Soul Child when he did Settle for My Love.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
What's her name? I forgot what her name.
She was from the group Aries. Is that her name, or was that the name of the group they was in?
That's the group. That's the group.
Both
they
okay.
killed that. They killed that.
Yes, they did.
Love that. And the last one, I'm gonna say After Sevens, Baby, I'm For Real.
Who did the original? No, who did the original?
The originals.
Oh, the originals did the original.
Yes.
Okay, I don't know. Like, you get mad like the original, nigga. I'm like, no, I know the original. You like the originals, and I'm like,
yeah,
right. Who's on
wrote it? So
who's on second? All right, I got you, Eddie. Who you got up for your list, bro?
I'm tapped out, man. I only had a couple, and they all got taken. So,
all right. And Rel?
I got Aretha Franklin, Bridge Over Troubled Waters.
Nice.
That was done by Paul Simon first, but she did it way better.
Rel, do you see the way JR looking at you like Rel can read? Like Rel, I'm proud of you, Rel. Like, I'm proud of you, Rel. Look at you.
My mom loves Aretha, so I done heard every.
Yeah, because Aretha done remade everybody's stuff.
Yeah.
That's
Yes,
another
sure
one
have.
that's
Yeah.
taking shit and it's hers. Like,
Debo. Debo.
yeah.
Aaliyah's At Your Best. I don't know if it's better, but I think she did a good job.
Have you heard Alex do it, Rel?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. Of course, this is an easy one. Whitney, I Will Always Love You.
Right.
That's Dolly Parton, John. She, I don't gotta explain that. And what was my last one? I think Jodeci did Lately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They killed that. All right, I don't want to hold nobody because it's 11 o'clock. I know it's a holiday tonight with Nas about to drop, so I want everybody to get prepared and everything. I'm dead ass, man. I was excited as shit. Like, that just made my week. I woke up today like, oh, it's Thursday. I thought it was Wednesday. Oh, this day gonna be even better than I thought it was gonna be. Tell me this, psych level 1 to 5. How excited are you for this new album, and what are you expecting from it? I'm excited. Like, this is to me the difference between when people say, oh, that person's dropping an album, I'll listen, versus I'm hyped. You know what I mean? There's a lot of albums I'll listen to, but I rarely really get hyped. And I love how they do it. Like what they just posted like on Tuesday, right? Or Monday. Like, I love the fact that it's like, you only have to wait a week. Like, it's not like we got to wait a month or 2 months. I love that they give you the week's notice. It's coming. I'm expecting, fuck it. How can I not expect another 5 Mic Classic at this point? So I'm 5 the hype to hear it. I think we're going to get another 5 Mic Classic. Porsche, what you got on this?
I am about a 4.5 excited, and the reason I'm not a 5 excited is because I was a 5 excited for Top 5 Dead or Alive by Jadakiss, and I was like heartbroken when that album came out. I cannot allow myself to be like 1,000% invested because Nas and Hit Boy don't really have a miss. And I am very confident that they're going to just knock it out of the park. However, I have to leave that 0.5 percent there, just in case. Of
course, you've gotten your heart broken. You got to protect your heart.
I have to protect my heart.
You got to protect your heart. It's been broken before. You gotta hold it close to the chest. So, what about you, bro?
I gotta protect my blood pressure, so I'm at a 4.
All right. Bro, what about you?
I don't have any expectation, and I'm not hyped. But that doesn't mean I'm not ready to listen to it. But I'm just gonna go in with no expectations and fresh ears tomorrow, because I'm going to bed, nigga. Y'all can have all this midnight stuff.
Now, was it KD3 that you really fucked with?
Yeah, bro, I'm love, because here's the thing. I've always respected Nas as pop whatever MC, but I ain't never been no Nas fan. But bro, these Hit Boy joints, I'm like, yo, Nas is that nigga. He always has been, but I think you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So when I know when I wake up in the morning it's gonna be the greatest album of all time on Twitter. Because you know how Twitter does.
Bro, it's the greatest album of all time now, and it didn't even come out yet. What are you talking about?
Because you saw the track list. Yeah.
Right.
So no, I'm looking forward to it, but not like Christmas Eve kind of way.
Right.
I'll get to it.
All right, babe. What about you?
I'm just like Vern. I may tweet a lot of shit. It seems like I'm with the hype, but I take my ass to bed. And, when I'm in the gym tomorrow morning, that's when you see me post about it. That's when I'm listening. Because it's it's the thing I like to do. I like to listen to new music in the gym.
Right.
I can't say I'm hyped. I'm always skeptical, only because, and it's probably less on Hit Boy than it is on Nas, because I'm analyzing his flow, and it's a little different than what we know him for as far as how he does it, and it's not bad at all. But that Nasir joint wasn't that long ago.
And again, me and Northwest are the only two people in the world who like the Nasir album. So, and I'm sure Kanye's daughters have reneged that shit too by now. I'm sure Kim has wiped out his whole discography from the crib. So,
but let me say this though. I think Hit Boy does an excellent job of producing it, and that's why you haven't heard that Nas anymore. So I have no reason to doubt any of it. But I'm just glad they're doing it. I'm glad it's Magic 2 and not another King's Disease, because that now you won't measure it on the other 3 albums.
Right.
I kind of didn't want them to do anything else, at least yet, because sometimes you go to well too much, like Run the Jewels did at one point, and people kind of got tired of the formula. But I think it'll be fine. The only thing is, I don't like anything 21 Savage does. Like, I think he is complete garbage. He should not.
On the album?
He's on a bonus track.
Okay, I haven't even seen the track list. I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to new cats, you could pick anybody else, honestly. Well, no, just don't pick Bobby James. Just don't pick him.
Bodie gonna put you to sleep. JR, what's up? How are you excited? Are you hyped?
I'm hyped, but I'm gonna go into it with like no expectations. But I'm hyped for it though. I am, but
I'm like that nigga at 11:59, like hitting refresh. Like, is it there yet? Is it there yet?
I'm like Vernon Vegas. I'm taking my ass to bed.
My ass is at like 11:59, eating some popcorn. Like, okay, good. It's on.
Oh God,
Eddie, what about you, bro?
Yeah, man, I'm hyped. I think the one album that I thought was going to be a letdown, just because of what all came before it, was KD3. I was posting about it. I was like, I kind of feel like if there's any of these albums that would be a letdown, it would be this one, because the buildup was so much, and the way he said it on the first Magic, KD3 on the way, and all that shit. And so when that one was arguably better than the 2 that came before, as far as the King Disease, now I have no reason to doubt. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna take it as it is, but I'm definitely hyped for it, and I'm on the West Coast, so I ain't going to bed.
All right. Yo, I never thought about that. So that shit comes out at
9 o'clock.
9
o'clock y'all time. All right, that's love. And I'm wondering, Vegas, with like you said, I'm wondering, because to me, Magic seemed a little grimier than the King's Disease. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, like you said, I'm almost hoping that this is in that, like that they keep them separate like that. You know what I mean?
Right. That same vibe. Real quick, this one has shit to do with shit. But when I was on the West Coast, I was like, NBA games at this time isn't right. Like,
right, like 4:00 in the afternoon again.
Yeah,
you like, wait a second.
You coming from work, you like, wait a minute, what is Chuck and them doing out already?
Right. Now I feel you, man. I was in Vegas with that shit. And I was like, it's 5:00 and the game on already? Like, this don't even feel right.
Nah, but I was gonna say real quick, with the unreason bullshit on Twitter, they're already the album hasn't came out yet. They're already saying this is like the greatest 5 album run ever.
Right.
Damn.
And the album hasn't came out yet.
Hey, it doesn't matter, man. Hey, we gotta shoot for the stars on Twitter. We gotta shoot for the stars. That's what we do. Rel, one of the biggest Nas fans I know. Are you excited? What are you feeling about this?
Yeah, I'm excited. I'll be up. Probably gonna watch some Law and Order until 12, and then and then I'm tapping in. I have no reason to doubt that it's gonna be good. Like I doubted Kings of Season 1 when I saw the track listing. I was like, and it surprised me. Again, I'm a huge Nas fan, but I'm also realistic. Like, put this out there to the people that have been talking about album runs. The greatest 4-album run is EPMD, by the way, to me. So let's not get crazy.
We gotta understand, most people with Twitter are probably under the age of 35. So, they don't even know who EPMD is.
I think Gangstar is right there with him.
And this group behind me is right there with him too.
Right. Okay, yeah. It's a few of them.
Yeah, it's a few. It's a few.
Definitely, but
it's one of those things. At our age, I can't be mad. If you pick Outkast, it's cool. You pick certain people, you can't be mad at. Like it's all about what speaks to you.
I think the thing that the thing is him doing this late in his career. Making it crazy. Like at this point in his career, like he's just like in a zone, and it's good to see. It's good to see for a number of reasons. For one, I saw somebody post like that a couple of newer artists were canceling concerts because they weren't selling on their tour, but Wu-Tang and Nas joints is selling out. So, it gives you that, because when you get past a certain age, like they try to like cancel you out of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like they try to keep it, but that's not what it is. It's good to see the legends and the legacy artists are still thriving. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm at with it. So I'm excited for it.
I saw a clip of Nas doing 30 Summers, and the crowd was just crazy. It just made me love the song that much more. You know what I mean? So it's that. I'm gonna let y'all go. One more quick question, just because I was thinking about the strike that y'all was on before y'all came out with the shirts. Do you think that the music industry should do a strike similar to the actors, to the writers? I'm not sure if everybody is familiar. I write scripts, so I've been like zoned in on like all this stuff about the strike and everything. Do you think the music industry needs to go on some sort of strike similar to this, because the streaming numbers are not adding up in the bank account? They're not adding up. I've shared this before. I have 3.5 million streams of albums I've worked on, and that garnered me $286. So when I saw 3.5 million streams, I at least thought I was getting $10K. You know what I mean? But I got enough to pay my cable bill this month. So it's one of those things where the same way with these actors, they're like, hey, you want to use our likeness and use it for infinity, and we can't get paid off of that. And the writers, we're going to start using AI, and the series aren't 24 episodes anymore. They're 8 episodes. So writers aren't getting paid. And I was talking to one of my homeboys who works for CBS. He's like, I know people have been out of work since March. And like, this is just really getting bad. Do you think the artists need to do something, because this streaming isn't paying what the time and effort we're putting into this art? So I'm sure you can attest to it. All the time you put into this, I'm not trying to get in your pockets or anything like that, but we put so much time and effort into this music to make this great music, and we're not seeing what it's worth. Even if you're getting paid, even if you're getting good payments, you should be getting more, is with the moral of what I'm saying. So just real quick, I don't want to hold y'all much longer, but Porsche, what do you think? Do you think they should strike? Yeah or nay? Can they strike? Who are they striking against?
Such a loaded question. I'm trying to simplify it so I don't take up time, but I feel like the difference between the movie industry, I actually feel like the movie industry is now just experiencing a fraction of what artists have been experiencing for years in the music industry. And now they're being able to realize how screwed over they were getting off these 360 deals and contracts they were signing. Where I think the differentiation is that the artists, and this is like, I guess, maybe a double-edged sword. With the death of the major labels, artists have taken a lot of their own work into their own hands and have been able to, many artists have, I don't know, I can't say all, but many artists have been able to, kind of turn it back internally. So they're using other platforms that are compensating them higher than just relying on streams. And I think that because of that, I don't know that I would say music artists should strike, because I don't know how that would affect like the compensation that is really good, like Bandcamp, for example. And
well, Porsche, hold for 1 second. I guess the way that this strike would be, because you're right, it's two different things. At least with the writers, they have unions, so that's number one. Like we don't, MCs, we don't have a union, number one. So what I'm saying strike, and I apologize, it'd be more so like you're saying, Porsche, like when Ransom did Director's Cut 4, he did it a different way. Right. So it's almost like, do we strike against the streaming services? Do we no longer service Apple, Tidal, Spotify? Well,
I think the question I ask artists, and Kill, you're an artist, Zoe, Vegas, Rel, like my question to the artists would be, what is your goal and what do you want off of streaming? Because the money's not there. So is streaming making you more visible? Is streaming making you more accessible? And then you're hoping that in turn fans go to your sites and Bandcamps and independent areas to purchase your stuff, so you're getting at least 80% return, or a higher percentage. Like my musicians, like artists, have been screwed over so badly that I feel like they've learned along the way how to loophole these things. So, and again, I like the music industry. I'm sorry. I mean, the movie industry thought they were like Teflon and that this wasn't going to happen to them. And I just feel like, they sat back and watched when it was happening to the artists. And now it's kind of like, well, the tables have turned, like now, I don't know. Sorry.
Right. No. So what about you, for what Portia just said? What would be, what you were doing, for what you are and the level you are making your music? Do you think striking against the streaming services would work? Or like Portia said, is the goal to just get on Apple Music to get more visibility for tours and merch and things like that? I would love to know your thoughts.
I mean, for right now, what we have to do is we have to go where the people are at, and the people are streaming, and we have to make ourselves available to people, or else, we just don't exist. Right. And a lot of us as indie artists, we don't exist anyway. You know what I mean? So, we have to just remain as visible as possible. I guess the ultimate dream goal would be for, these streaming services to, I guess, tell us how they have come to this, this bottom feeder number, and then, renegotiate things so that number looks a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, I want to get excited. I want to get really excited when a song of mine hits 7 digits, when it hits 1 million plus, in which we do. You know what I'm saying? It's like, now we're totally independent. We're taking it to the people, and the people are being receptive. But at the same time, it's like, yo, man, like, I should be able to, put something down on the house. So I should be able to.
Once you hit that 7 million, you feel like something I should purchase something,
Something. Like I should be able to put something to the side, or, something, and none of that is happening. I've received checks where I'm like, why did you even send this to me? Like the stamp is worth more than the check. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like I had a check for the longest for like 17 cents just up on my wall. Just as a reminder, it's like, yo, man, something needs to change. Something needs to change. Something is going to change. And I think that, with the writers and the actors kind of leading the way, it's, musicians are kind of looking at each other like, yo, man, like, what's good? We kind of elbowing each other right now. So I think if not, it probably won't be this year. Maybe the next 2 or 3 years. I think that's going to light a fire underneath a lot of musicians, a lot of artists, to where we just kind of like, yo, man, we kind of got to bum rush this thing too, man. Like, even with venues, like venues will take a cut of our merch sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like, even with that. So it's like, we get nickeled and dimed every step of the way. And it's like, yo, man, like something got to give at some point.
Right. And I mean, I know Porsche, like a lot of times what we'll try to do is, I know with Vern and I, and we got it from Trey actually, is we'll do Bandcamp before we stream. We'll do the first month on go to Bandcamp to try to make as much money as we can. But then, like Zoe said, eventually it feels like you got to go that streaming route because, like Zoe said, that's where people are at. You know what I mean? And even though I tell people, it's only clicking another fucking... It's only opening another window to go to my Bandcamp, but it's like if you're in iTunes, people don't even want to leave. Again, we did the show about going record shopping and record stories and things like this. This generation just wants to look at their phone, hit buy. They don't want to even scroll open a new page to go to your Bandcamp. Vern, what do you think? And I'm sorry, maybe I should have saved this for a whole nother show. So
no, I think that Portia said it from the commoner's point of view. And Zoe said it from the other point of view. I don't need to say anything else. And I just wanted to clarify that when he said Vern, he ain't talking about me. He's talking about Las Vegas Vern.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Vern, West Side Vern. I apologize. Vern don't have a new album coming out. I don't want nobody to get hyped. He's focusing on closing loans.
Yeah. You want a more? I got you. We going platinum.
Vague, what about you,
bro? I think because, like you mentioned, with the film industry having actors union and the writers guild, they have a little bit more pull to kind of like pull together and strike and stand together. Whereas music is so fragmented amongst the artists and everybody.
We can barely get a feature, right? We can barely get a feature, let alone get everybody
from each other.
And say,
right. It's difficult to do that because everybody doesn't have the same situation, right? Some people have a little bit more freedom. You have artists selling their whole catalog. Like it's difficult to say, but if you do have the freedom on whether or not to put your stuff on a streaming service, then maybe those people, but there's not many of them, right? Like maybe those people decide on something or whatever. But to your point, like I felt like with Ransom, right? Like I always try to support artists like that, but it was difficult to just get to the music. And that's kind of the issue, because you got to partner with another organization who really is like, what's your fan base? So we can throw a bunch of ads on the site or whatever it may be, or lock in emails, you know what I'm saying, or personal information, or sell your information, right? So there can be ads. So it's all these different things that a union usually protects you from and kind of protects your audience. So I would love if they could, because when you look at those amounts, it just doesn't make any sense with the amount of streams people get. It's like saying, you got to have these astronomical Drake numbers in order to see anything significant. And not everybody is doing that. So it's terrible, but I don't know. Just bring back the African bootleggers, on the street. The whole catalog, right? Take your cut. You good.
Right. JR and Eddie, I'm gonna get to you. I want to go to Rel just because he's an artist. Rel, you're about to drop your album. What are you thinking? Are you thinking Bandcamp for the first week, for the first 2 weeks? Like, what are your thoughts?
I think in my situation, like, I like the points that was brought up by Porsche and Zoe, because like what do you want? You know what I'm saying? Like in my situation, I want to be heard. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of difficult to not go the streaming route, because you want to have people to have as much access to you as possible. But then in your case, like you up 4 a.m. making beats and mixing and all that shit, and then you got 5 million streams and you get $200. You're like, God damn, like, you know what I'm saying? That's discouraging as well. So, I mean, I don't know, man. It's tough. Like, I feel like with what's going on with the actors, or maybe, like Zoe said, get the musicians a wake up call, like, yo, like, you know what I mean? But And in my case, you know, at this point, I just want to be heard. So, you know, that's just an interesting decision. Like you want to be compensated for your hard work, but you also want people to have access to you. You know what I'm saying? It's you know, the streaming thing, like with it being so prevalent, it's like hard to like not be involved with it, because then you're limiting your availability to the masses, because the masses is streaming. You know what I'm saying? It's a tough situation, man.
And I think it's like Porsche said, it's what's your goal? Somebody's goal to make money, then you may want to do band camp and do that for the first couple of weeks. Your goal is to be heard.
Or get a job.
Yeah, exactly. Go. When I'm making music, I'm not expecting anything back. Like I'm literally now just making music for the love of it. You know, just putting my stuff out there almost like a resume, just so people know Kill got beats and stuff like that. And the only reason why I thought it was going to be more is because I saw millions. I didn't think all the albums I worked on would even have that many streams, but I've worked on a lot of albums. And I did think I'd at least be getting 10K. I did think that, you know, and I've shown people the stats. I'm like, what do you think? You know, some people said 100K. Somebody said $1 million. And I'm like, enough to pay the cable bill. And it's like, it's fucked up. But I know the game. Like, that's the game right now. So it's kind of like, you know, if you're in this game to make money, you're probably not, you know what I mean? Because you need money to make money. You know what I mean? Like, this is not it. This is where you see people doing it for the love. When people want to talk about the love, this is the love movement right here.
Yep.
People
whether you want to or not.
Right. Whether you want to or not. And just, again, connecting with your fans. Eddie, JR, what are your thoughts real quick?
I agree with all what y'all said, so ain't no need to be saying anything. So
No, man, I agree with y'all, man. I do think that there are certain artists who have kind of learned how to kind of sidestep it and, you know, with the hustle, right? Like, you got these underground MCs that we look at them charging like $300 to $700 for a vinyl record, and we're like, that's crazy. But at the same time, like, you can't be mad at them because they ain't making no money for streaming. So I'm not mad at them. I'm mad at the people who spend $700 on vinyl. I'm not, like these barbers out here. I saw a barber in Philly. He charged $300 for a cut. I'm like, hey, I'm not mad at you. God damn, $300 for a cut. So you know what I'm saying? And honestly, like, the people spending that much on a vinyl record, they probably don't even have a record player. You know what I mean?
I mean, hey, like you said, you can't be mad at it. My thing with the actors thing that I'm praying won't happen. You know me at 49. I hope I'm wrong. I never want to be right nowadays, because if I'm right, we're fucked up. But I feel like they're just going to let this just play out, because Hollywood has all the money, you know, and eventually people are going to start losing houses, losing apartments, having to take their kids out of school. And they're gonna have to break down and either I was watching something today and they said they'll fuck around and go to other countries to get writers. You know what I mean? So So again, I just feel like it's like when you're trying to sue, if I'm trying to sue Def Jam got enough lawyers to just keep me on a loop for 2 years until I just run out of money and I gotta drop the lawsuit. You know what I mean? And prayerfully that doesn't happen. Like I said, my man said his job is good, but he'll lose his job if the strike isn't over by September. You know, and it's already August. You know, and he's known people out of work since March. He had to lay off his whole staff. You know, so I feel like when you're getting pushed into a situation, eventually you can only lose but so much before somebody got to start crossing that picket line. You know what I mean? So, and that's the sad part about it. But another dope show. Everybody, I appreciate y'all so much. Vegas, again, I apologize. I did not know T was doing this. You know, my brother, that you would have had your shirt. It's amazing to me to just see all these phrases that I say. Like, I'm just
can we read them? Because I don't know. I can't see everybody.
Portia says, I apologize, good brother, but... Which is always what I say when somebody says some crazy shit. It's like, I apologize, good brother, but what did you say? I ain't gonna hold you. It's a Philly term. That is just Philly all day. I ain't gonna hold you, man. JR, I love yours. Why are you looking at me in that tone of face? Because JR always looks at me in a tone of face. Eddie's, I got my whole squad with me in effect. Of course, it's what's good. Another episode of Apartment 5B. I got my squad with me in effect. and Rel's 5 mic classic. Y'all know I use 5 mics to rate everything. I have been in school with Naomi, and I'm like, Naomi, how many mics you give your teacher? No, she's 3 like that. She's 3 fucking shit. She don't know that. So everything in my life is based off of 5 mics and how I rate everything. I appreciate y'all again, because y'all don't have to rock here every week. You know what I mean? Y'all really don't. I appreciate you. I appreciate the brotherhood. I appreciate the family. I appreciate the people who watch. Like, dead ass. There's literally over 1 million podcasts over here. So I never take it for granted when somebody says, Kill, I like your show, or to have Chuck D on and say, Chuck, I got, Kill, I got you between Will Smith and John Sally. Like, that's mind blowing to me that Chuck D would make room for me in between a Will Smith and a John Sally podcast. So I appreciate the listeners. Vern, what you gonna say, brother?
Hey man, I just want to take this time. This ain't just because you're on the show. That man right there, Lorenzo Ferguson. If you don't know, you need to go do the knowledge. It ain't a week that goes by that something he's made or had his hand in doesn't get played around here. So I just want y'all. I want to give this man his flowers. He's dope. He's down to earth. His discography is ridiculous. I think he's the music director for the Foreign Exchange. So the man is nasty with it, man. So y'all want to cry about music ain't the same and dying, blah blah blah. Go check out the latest one with Tall Black Guy. Check out all Man Made, Sunstorm. Sure, I'm leaving out some. Just go check this man out and get some good music in your life. It'll give you balance.
Thank you, man.
Vern,
Appreciate you.
I didn't tell you he was gonna be on this week, right?
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I wanted to surprise you. You.
Well, you got me and we got you, so it's all good.
No surprise, right? I'm not telling Vern about Zoe this week. I ain't even gonna say nothing. Yeah. So, all right, everybody. Zoe, tell them what you got cooked up right now. Just getting back from tour. What's going on in your world, brother? Where can they get at you? Where's the music? Where's everything? What you cooking up? Everything.
I got everything at zo35.com. So Zo35 on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, ZO, the number 3 HREE, the number 5 IVE. We're going back out on the road, finishing up some stuff with Cy Smith. Me and Tall Black just started on our follow up, so we cooking right now. We got a session pulled up right now, so we cooking.
All right, that's what's up. P, what's going on, miss?
Not a whole lot. Just follow me. I've got them all. Twitter, Spill, Threads, at Cherchez Porsche.
All right, Vern, where can they get at you if they trying to get that crib, man?
Yeah, so on Instagram, Be the Loan Closer, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama. Get at me.
All right, I see you going after that bag. You in like 5 states
bro,
now.
The bag ain't gonna come to me, so I gotta go to it.
I feel you. Vig, let them know what's going on. When's the new podcast popping? What's going on with the music too, with you and Rec?
So me and DJ Rec One got a EP out on Bandcamp, Vegas World INC .bandcamp.com. It's called GMT. Grown Man Time. It's quick little EP, you know what I'm saying, on some hip hop ish. Also, I have a podcast, an interview based podcast, not hip hop. Really interviewing creatives. Doesn't mean someone in hip hop won't be on the show, but it's really about interviewing other creatives in the world who may not be celebrities, but they still have the same drive and passion as most of us have. And it's good to sit down and tell the story in interview form of a person's creative life from beginning to end. And for those people who've been watching Apartment 5B for a little while, one of my interviewees is Penny Patone, who's an actor. And we did a great interview. It's about 40 minutes. You get to know a lot about him, about his family, about his early beginnings. And it's some funny stuff there also. But I think people will enjoy it, and more importantly, we want you to walk away inspired to create also. You can follow me on everything, man. Spill, Threads. I don't really like Threads no more. Twitter.
It was quick, grand opening, grand closing.
Yeah, it was like 1 week, and what y'all doing over here? What y'all really doing though? Yeah, just a bunch of Threads and shit. But I really like Spill. You know, I can't wait till that's out of beta form. But Instagram, Spill, TikTok, and Twitter, of course, at Vegas World INC, and I have a weekly hip hop program that you can watch on YouTube called Hip Hop Now Podcast. All about hip hop news. None of that debate shit. I don't know y'all niggas.
Right. JR, the youngest in charge, the R&B guru. What's going on?
One half of the R&B raps with me and Naturally Elise. When this comes out, our episode is we were with the Sites podcast and we talked about all the new girls of R&B on the Catch That. With everybody, you know, we talk about albums that came out, but now we want to start talking about new artists now. So we got a new episode. We talked about Summer Walker. We talked about Be My Fiasco. We talked about all India Shawn, Alex Isley. It was such a great episode. So yeah, check that out. Me and Elise still out here doing it, man. We just scored a dope interview. I cannot wait, but I can't say who it is. Dope. Just follow us at R&B Reps on Instagram, R&B Reps on Twitter, Junior's World of Soul on Instagram and Twitter and all that.
All right, Eddie, where can I get at you, bro?
Still on Twitter at Eddie80, on Instagram at Freakstyles, and Freakstyles on Spill as well. Threads, yeah, I'm with Vegas.
All right. And Rel, where can they get at you, bro?
Uptown Rel 215 on Instagram, JBen215 on Twitter. I had a little self-reflection. Judging by the responses on Twitter, I gotta chill. I be saying some wild stuff on this show, apparently. I gotta really chill. Like, my man was talking about how he was like getting uncomfortable because I started to mention Mobb Deep. I said, you know what? I should have never told that story. Bro, Yo, the comments that people be saying to me be so funny, bro. They make me look so wild, bro. I'm like, yo, what am I saying on here, bro? Like, I don't know. I gotta chill. But Philadelphia State Life, the show with me, Kill, and my man Gadget. Second episode coming soon. Speaking of that, Kill, I have a lot of stuff to send you, but I'm gonna wait till after tonight to let you know. But the theme song is done. The album is done. Finally, I pushed it to August 11th because I added something today I want you to hear, and I gotta put that single out of the song that you said if I didn't kill it, you're gonna get a beat to Trey. So that song came out so crazy that I gotta put it out. So August 11th, my album, Caught in a Moment, me and Kill. So yeah, I'll send you this stuff tomorrow. I'm gonna let you chill tonight and listen to Nas, you know what I mean? But
all right, no doubt. You already know what it is. Me, Kill 889 Twitter, IG. Trey's new album is coming out. Got a track on Trey's new album. Doing some stuff with Vic Spencer out of Chicago. Me and Rel's new album. Me and Vegas' EP from last year. Will Matic dedicated to his cousin Ill Will from Queensbridge fame. Again, I thank y'all, my family, my crew. Zoe, thank you so much for coming through. Always it's like Apartment 5B was based off of my mother-in-law who passed away's apartment in Harlem, and that's where anybody in the family ever, if they needed someplace to stay, they came through her crib. We wanted to make a podcast with the same vibe and everything. So like Porsche said, she got invited over once to spend the night and never left. It's been 6 years. So again, always an open chair for you up here, brothers. Everybody watching, I appreciate y'all for rocking with me for 10 years. Prayerfully, we got another 10 years to go. We're going to keep doing this thing till the wheel falls off. So love y'all, appreciate y'all. I will check y'all next week, y'all.
Thank you.
Much love.